Chapter 217. In fact, Lin Mu was a man with a very high EQ. Because of his good looks, he had a good relationship with women since he was young. That was why he was proud of himself in love. As long as he made a move, there was no woman he could not get. Of course, he had his own bottom line when he was in love. For example, he would not touch his brother's women, mistresses, or even married men. It was also because of his rich emotional experience that he had written many best-selling books. Currently, he was the most popular male author in the poll. In fact, he did not know that Liu Qianqian would be in the cast before he got the list. But when he saw the recommendation from the film company, he was stunned. Was she a sponsor? I don't think so. Lin Muan refused. But editor Lin, she is recommended by an investor. It's hard for us. I said no. Although he liked dating, he was clear about his work and private life. Liu Qianqian was a rich young lady. How dare she audition without any foundation? Who gave her the courage? Then you should talk to the investor. Liu Qianqian was furious when she received the news that she was rejected the next day. The scriptwriter did not want her. Other scriptwriters might not have the right to speak when it came to casting. But now Lin Muan was popular and his words carried weight. Moreover, it was an adaptation of his novel. The investor had to give him some face. So Liu Qianqian was very angry. After asking around, she got Lin Muan's phone number from Papa Liu. Holding the phone, Liu Qianqian dialed the annoying number. I'm Liu Qianqian. What can I do for you, Miss Liu? I know you changed my role. I'm not happy with you and want to beat you up. Liu Qianqian said as if venting. You scumbag who writes rubbish literature. You're so shrewd. Didn't you learn your lesson after being hurt so badly? Lin Muan was smiling from beginning to end. But every word he said made Liu Qianqian very angry. I didn't learn it. That's why I want to act in a movie to divert my attention. I'm really interested in acting. Lin Muan smiled and asked her. There's a role of a palace maid. Do you want it? And there's a spy movie that needs a lot of corpses. I want to be your mother. Will you let me? Liu Qianqian asked through gritted teeth. TSK. If you really want to divert your attention, I have a good job for you. Come and be my assistant. I promise you'll forget everything. Lin Muan, just you wait. After that, Liu Qianqian hung up the phone. This scum. She must take revenge on him. Lin Muan, on the other hand, was laughing from the start to the end. This girl was actually quite interesting. If anyone else was replaced, the first thing they would do would be to call him, either to fight for it or to threaten him. But this girl didn't pester him. She just called him and scolded him to vent her anger. After hanging up, Liu Qianqian recalled that Mu Qiqi mentioned that she went to the Lin family's birthday banquet. Moreover, when she went shopping with Mu Qiqi, she seemed to have seen a man at the entrance of the hotel. At that time, she thought that Mu Qiqi had abandoned the crown prince. But Mu Qiqi told her that it was the young master of the Lin family. Damn, enemies are bound to meet. Thinking of that face, Liu Qianqian immediately became excited and called Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, do you know Lin Muan? Mu Qiqi had just finished her class. When she heard Liu Qianqian mention this name, she knew that the two of them must have known each other's existence. Why did you suddenly mention him? Let me tell you, we are enemies. I must destroy him, because he destroyed my beautiful stardom. Can you help me ask him out? Qianqian, are you sure? Do you know that Lin Muan is a Casanova? Pa, you're afraid that I'll like him? Even if I fell in love with a pig, I would never fall in love with him. He's trash. Qianqian, he and I don't have any grudges. Isn't it a little strange for me to ask him out to vent your anger? Just tell him honestly that I want to see him. It's up to him whether he wants to come or not. She knew Qianqian's temper very well. The firecracker would explode sooner or later. Qianqian had only been a coward when it came to Duan Shaoan. After some thought, Mu Qiqi agreed. All right. I'll let you know later. If Xiao Xiao knew that she was going to meet a man alone, wouldn't he smack her, but until it was swollen? So Mu Qiqi just threw the matter to the man. Anyway, if it was Sheng Xiao who asked her out, Lin Muan could not refuse. Lin Muan received a call from Huang Yao in the afternoon. Jingyan told him everything in a few words. Lin Muan did not refuse. Their conversation only lasted for 2 minutes. Then, Mu Qiqi replied to Lu Qianqian and asked her to meet him at the Imperial Hotel at noon tomorrow. In fact, Lin Mu and did not need to care about Lu Qianqian's unreasonable request. Even Jing Yin said that he was bored. But Lin Muan felt that Lu Qianqian was a very interesting girl. At least, he did not reject her in terms of feelings. Since Lu Qianqian wanted to go, Mu Qiqi certainly had to accompany her. And since Mu Qiqi was there, Sheng Xiao naturally had to show up. His little one was going to meet another man. How could he not follow her? He hated the kind of person who pretended to be generous and told his or her partner that he or she believed her. But in fact, it meant that he or she doubted her. If she minded, he could just accompany her. Why be so pretentious? After a few days of getting used to the new department, Shen Ruai had a thorough understanding of the situation in the new department. It was like a center of gossip. There were many rumors about Sheng Xiao. Some of them were true, and some were false. She did not know whether she should believe them or not. It was because she could not verify those rumors. But the only thing she knew was that she knew where Sheng Xiao's office was in Huangyao. She wanted to go in and see if Sheng Xiao was involved in those scandals. Shen Ruai wanted to take action when she had this idea in her mind. Especially in the past 2 days, the idea was very strong. First of all, she had to choose a time when she would not meet Sheng Xiao. Secondly, she had to get the access card to enter the office. That was the state of being obsessed with someone. She wanted to know more about him. Even if she could only get a little closer to him, she would be very happy. Mama Sheng had been observing Shen Ruai these days. And Jing Yin was right. Shen Ruai had been asking about Sheng Xiao everywhere. It was difficult for her not to attract attention. But if Xiao Er liked her, he would not think of such a way to deal with her. She was the junior of the Shen family after all. She had to be careful when dealing with her. Chapter 218. On the other hand, Shen Ruai's every move was under Jing Yun's surveillance. He knew very well who Shen Ruai was in contact with in Huangyao, and what she wanted. He knew that Shen Ruai was messing with Sheng Xiao's office. Getting close to the person you like, isn't it to confirm whether he has a woman or not? They might be able to find some clues in Sheng Xiao's office. If that was the case, he would definitely arrange a good show for Shen Ruai. He purposely helped Shen Ruai find the cleaner, who was responsible for cleaning the office area. Then he successfully got the access card. It was also an opportunity for Shen Ruai to enter Sheng Xiao's office. It was already 10 o'clock at night. All the employees of Huang Yao had left work, but Shen Ruai was still working hard. When she was sure that there was no one around, she disguised herself as a cleaner and went to the high-rise area openly. Of course, the important offices were all locked, but Sheng Xiao's office was not, because he never put his important things in his office, and he rarely used them. When Shen Ruai entered the modern space, she could feel Sheng Xiao's aura everywhere. She sat on the sofa that Sheng Xiao had sat on, and picked up the cup that Sheng Xiao had used. Her heart was filled with excitement. But at that moment, Shen Ruai heard a scream. It was a woman's voice. She was so scared that her face turned pale. Then, Shen Ruai noticed that it was the private lounge in Sheng Xiao's office. She could hear a woman's voice and a man's devilish teasing. Shen Ruai was so nervous that she had goosebumps all over her body. She immediately left Sheng Xiao's office. She did not care about her image at all. She ran as fast as she could. In fact, Jing Yun was watching a thriller in the lounge and purposely turned the volume to the loudest. He thought that Shen Ruai was brave. In the end, she was terrified. Shen Ruai went home in a daze. She locked herself in her room after she got home. She could not believe that she saw Sheng Xiao fooling around with a woman. Sun Suyin noticed that her daughter did not even have an appetite for dinner. So she asked her what happened. Shen Ruai shook her head. She did not say anything. After all, she was no longer sure what attitude she had towards him. The next day, as expected, there was a new scandal in the office. I heard that after you got off work last night, an ambulance came again. That's right. I heard that this time, the girl's body was covered in many bloody wounds. It scared me to death. I've always heard that the Crown Prince plays big, but I didn't expect him to treat people like that. Shen Ruai's facial expression changed when she heard that. It was because she suddenly remembered what happened yesterday. The woman's scream was still echoing in her head. Director Shen, why do you look so pale? Shen Ruoyi shook her head when she heard her colleague's question. Maybe he did not rest well. Was Sheng Xiao really a demon who ate people without spitting out the bones? If that was the case, should she consider giving up? If she insisted on marrying into the Sheng family, would Sheng Xiao treat her like this in the future? Even if Sheng Xiao could restrain himself from doing anything to her, could she tolerate him toying with other girls? Shen Ruoyi was in a dilemma, but she was not willing to give up. So she decided to go and see what was going on at night. Mama Sheng knew that Sheng Xiao was trying to ruin his image, so she said to him before the meeting, "If you really don't want to get into trouble, I can help you to get rid of her." Mom, if you really want to make a person give up, you must make her feel fear. How long do you think she can hold on? Sheng Xiao answered Mama Sheng while playing with the cufflink in his hand. Since he moved out of the Sheng family, this cufflink had become the most valuable thing in Sheng Xiao's office. Who the hell gave this to me? You treasure it so much. If you give me such a simple thing, I will treasure it too. Sheng Xiao smiled and put the cufflink back into the drawer. Don't drag this matter any longer. Otherwise it will backfire. I know what I'm doing. Of course it was Xiao Qi's gift. That was why he treasured it so much. Mama Sheng looked at her son helplessly. Suddenly, she felt sorry for Shen Ruoyi. She was such a good girl. Why did she have to fall in love with him? Now, even if she was not scared to death, she would be half dead. When Mu Qiqi was at home, she did not ask about Shen Ruoyi. It was because she was too lazy to do it. As long as they were at home, she and Sheng Xiao would stick together no matter what they did. Moreover, Sheng Xiao was an energetic guy. He would put on a show in every corner of the house from time to time. She was already very tired from the classes in the morning. She could not sleep well at night. It was strange that she had the energy to care about Shen Ruoyi. Since Sheng Xiao said that he would take care of it, she would let him do it. At noon, Mu Qiqi invited Lu Qianqian and Lin Muan for lunch. From the moment they met, Lu Qianqian's eyes were filled with sparks. She wanted to swallow Lin Muan. On the other hand, Lin Muan was smiling. He sat opposite Lu Qianqian elegantly. Sheng Xiao was the last to arrive. He sat beside Mu Qiqi and put his arm on her chair. He was very possessive. The two of them won't fight, will they? Lu Qianqian is no match for him. Sheng Xiao answered his little one in a low voice. Lin Muan was a third-generation heir. It was not difficult for him to capture him. Miss Lu, am I so beautiful that you can't take your eyes off me? Lin Muan did not stay idle. He teased Lu Qianqian. Lu Qianqian slammed the table and stood up. She pointed at Lin Muan. How did I offend you? Why do you want to replace me? You don't know how to act. But you are just a pretty face now. That was what annoyed Lu Qianqian the most. He was just fooling around with her. Because she is talented in acting. I am talented in beating people up. Besides, the entertainment industry isn't a place that just anyone can enter. The price of becoming famous is losing a lot of things. Your privacy, your personal space, and most importantly, your past will be dug up. Do you think that your past will be accepted by everyone? It is fine if you are 26 or 36 years old. But you are only 18. You were abandoned when you were only 18. This circle is not suitable for you. After hearing Lin Muan's words, Lu Qianqian sat down. But her eyes were red. Is it my fault? You are not wrong. But that is not the mainstream value. You can do anything. But don't become a celebrity. You are cute and beautiful. Mu Qiqi suddenly understood what Lin Muan meant. Actually, this man had the same thought as her. He did not want Qianqian to be hurt. Chapter 219. Don't think too highly of yourself. Lu Qianqian had actually accepted his kindness, but she still felt embarrassed. I am the eldest daughter of the Lu family. How could I be replaced by you just like that? That's a disgrace. Look at you. You are just a little pepper. You don't appreciate others' kindness, do you? Who asked you to be a busybody? By the way, what kind of rubbish literature are you writing? Do you think advocating men is in line with the mainstream values? Seeing that Lu Qianqian had done her homework well, Lin Muan bent over and rested his head on the table. Then he hooked his finger at Lu Qianqian. Why don't you come to my house one day? Let me tell you what values I'm advocating. This man was really flirtatious. But Lu Qianqian was not someone to be trifled with. She grabbed Lin Mu's finger and twisted it. I really want to make an appointment with you, to have a hand-to-hand fight at the martial arts center. That's settled then. Give me your number. I'm free anytime. Who's afraid of you? Lu Qianqian immediately took out her phone. Lin Muan calmly told her his number. Then they exchanged each other's number. And Mu Qiqi just leaned on the table and watched the show from the beginning. Sheng Xiao even pulled her up. Seems like I don't need your help next time. Mu Qiqi held back her laughter and let them fight in the private room. Why do I feel like there are pink bubbles above their heads? It's none of your business, Sheng Xiao said proudly. Then he led her away. Jing Yun will come and send you to Shengting University later. I still have something to do. Speaking of Jing Yun, Mu Qiqi could not help but ask, Special Assistant Jing, do you have a girlfriend? Sheng Xiao shook his head. He's just a piece of rotten wood. He doesn't seem to be interested in this kind of thing. As if, believe it or not, although Jing Yun looks like an idiot when it comes to relationships, people like him are usually very affectionate. Maybe he has someone in his heart. Sheng Xiao tilted his head and looked at his little one. Jing Yun is under your control now? How can you be jealous? Muan was not as bad as she thought. Although he had a lot of girlfriends, it did not stop him from being a good person. Muan was not as bad as she thought he was. Although he had a lot of girlfriends, it did not stop him from being a good person. Moreover, Qianqian did not look like someone who would suffer a loss. After the incident with Duan Xiao, she was very cautious when it came to relationships. Therefore there was no need to worry at all. In short, when Lu Qianqian and Lin Mu left the hotel that afternoon, they glared at each other. Especially Lu Qianqian. She could not wait to strangle the man who ruined her career. Although she knew that her past would be very ugly if it was dug out. It would be very embarrassing. However, a playboy like Lin Mu was incomparably infuriating. At around 9 o'clock that night, Mu Qiqi received a call from Huang Yu in the small villa. Huang Yu rarely took the initiative to call her, and at this time, Mu Qiqi immediately picked up because she guessed that something must have happened at home. Qiqi, if you are free now, please go home. I'm afraid that Grandpa Shen's body can't take it anymore. What's wrong? Mu Qiqi asked quickly. It's all because of third brother and his family. Shen Ruai has caused a big trouble. Anyway, please come home quickly. At this moment Su Zipei, her husband and Sheng Xiao were beside Mu Qiqi. They heard Huang Yu's voice from the phone. So Su Zipei said to Mu Qiqi, go. Let's go. Sheng Xiao grabbed Mu Qiqi's collar and brought her back to the Shen family. You know something, don't you? On the way back, Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao. Since it was about Shen Ruai, and it was a big matter, it should be the truth. Shen Ruai's secret could not be hidden anymore. You can see what Grandpa Shen thinks about this matter now. In the dark, Sheng Xiao helped Mu Qiqi unfasten the seatbelt and reminded her. Mu Qiqi was stunned. She did not know what to do. But after a while, she pushed the door open and went to the living room of the Shen family. At this moment, Mama Sheng was still in the Shen family. Shen Ruai was kneeling in the living room. Grandpa Shen was holding a wooden stick in his hand. It seemed that he was very angry. Qiqi. Huang Yu pulled her to her side quickly. She was afraid that she would be hurt. What's wrong? It turns out that this girl has an ulterior motive for working in Huang Yao. She has sneaked into Sheng Zhao's office several times. Didn't she run into him tonight? She was caught red-handed. So when your beautiful aunt sent her back, Grandpa Shen interrogated her carefully. Then he found out that she has a crush on Sheng Xiao. He is her uncle. Xiao Qin, it's my fault for not teaching her well. That's why such a scandal happened. I'm so sorry. Grandpa Shen, I don't want to talk about anything else. I just hope that Ruai can take out Sheng Zhao's cufflinks. They are his most precious thing. Mama Sheng looked at Shen Ruai who was kneeling on the floor. I saw it with my own eyes. She put it in her coat pocket. Huang Yu, go and take it out. Grandpa Shen ordered. But Sun Suyan was protecting Shen Ruai. She did not let anyone touch it. Don't come near me. It's just a broken thing. It's not worth it for you to force it. Then, Sun Suyan took out the cufflinks from Shun Rui's coat pocket. But she threw it into the fish tank. Mu Qiqi looked at it and realized that it was the gift she gave to Xiao Xiao. So, she did not care about anything else. She reached out her hand to grab it. But Huang Yu stopped her. Silly girl, there's electricity here. Let me help you. Mu Qiqi got the cufflinks with Huang Yu's help. Then she gave it to Mama Sheng. Auntie, here you go. Mama Sheng took back the cufflinks and looked at Mu Qiqi. Good girl. Xiaoqin, I'm really sorry. I've caused you trouble. Grandpa Shen, since it's a family matter of the Shen family, I should go back now. Ruai is still young. I hope that she can learn her lesson. She should think carefully before she does anything. Then, Mama Sheng hugged Mu Qiqi. I'll come and see you some other day. Mu Qiqi nodded. Then she sent a message to Sheng Xiao. Beautiful auntie, I'll definitely come and see you. Sheng Xiao did not ask why. He quickly went back to the villa that Mama Sheng prepared for him. Now, it was time to close the door. Grandpa Shen was mad. He hit Shen Ruai with a stick without any mercy. Where's the sense of honor that I've taught you since you were young? Do you like your uncle? Chapter 220. Sun Suyan went crazy too. She went forward and hugged Shen Ruai. She refuted Grandpa Shen. What's wrong with liking Sheng Xiao? Is he an emperor or something? Why can't you like him? So what if he's her uncle? They are not related by blood. Moreover, Sheng Xiao is only 5 years older than Ruai. Why can't I like him? It's because of a mother like you that she can raise such a daughter. Look at what she did. She went to work in someone else's company. But she sneaked into someone else's office and stole their things. Shen Ruai, tell me who taught you to do that? That's right. Shen Ruai looked at the floor. She looked embarrassed. Actually, she was speechless, because she did not expect that Mama Sheng would enter the office and see her looking through Sheng Zhao's things. She didn't know what had bewitched her to do such a shameful thing. She still hadn't recovered from it. Say something. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I've embarrassed you. Are you trying to embarrass me? You're embarrassing yourself. You're the young lady of the Shen family. What will you do if others know that you've done such a shameless thing? Do you still want your reputation? I've given up. I don't want to think about anything anymore. What else do you want? Can't you see the Sheng family's attitude? They don't like you at all. Grandpa Shen was furious. He hit Shen Ruai a few more times. Then he threw away the things in his hand. From today onwards, you should stay at home and reflect on yourself. You're not allowed to go out for a month. You can tell me when you've made up your mind. Shen Ruai was lying in Sun Suyan's arms. She did not have the strength to talk anymore. There was blood at the corner of her mouth. Sun Suyan was so scared that she screamed. Ruoi, my daughter. Ruoi, what should I do if anything happens to you? Send her to the hospital now. Huang Yu urged her. Old woman, you're so cruel. When Mu Qiqi saw this scene, she seemed to see herself in the future. Perhaps, she was even worse than Shen Ruai because she had lived with Xiao Xiao for a long time. Moreover, she could feel that her grandpa loved her more. If with that in mind, Mu Qiqi walked to the old man and stroked his back to comfort him. Grandpa, your health is important. What kind of nonsense is this? Grandpa Sheng was utterly disappointed. Qiqi, do the youngsters these days really not care about seniority? However, these rules have been established for so many years. Are we going to throw them away just like that? Grandpa, forget it. I'm tired. I'm going back to my room. You can go home now. Grandpa Shen was sad and angry. It was because he had praised Shen Ruai for being sensible 2 days ago. But now the granddaughter he was so proud of had done such a thing. How could he not be angry? Mu Qiqi did not dare to follow. Her feet seemed to be fixed in place, and she could not move at all. Sun Suyan quickly sent Shen Ruai to the hospital. At that moment, the Shen family was as empty as Mu Qiqi's heart. After leaving the Shen family, Mu Qiqi took a taxi back to Sheng Zhao's house. But Sheng Xiao was still dealing with Mama Sheng. It seemed that it was too difficult for Grandpa Sheng to accept this. It was just as Mu Qiqi expected. Mama Sheng did use the cufflinks as an excuse to see her son. She thought that Sheng Xiao was not at home again. But when she entered the house, she found out that Sheng Xiao had just taken a shower and was about to rest. Son, look at what I've given you. Sheng Xiao took a look and found out that it was the cufflinks that Xiao Qi'er gave him. Shen Ruai almost took it away today. I saw it. So I went to the Shen family and got it back for you. Sheng Xiao took the cufflinks from Mama Sheng and raised them up high. He looked at them under the light. Then he said to Mama Sheng, Mom, do you hate Shen Ruai? You hate her. That's why I don't like her. Mama Sheng explained. Actually, she hates you the most when she takes your things. I know that you treasure them very much. So I'm angry. Sheng Xiao smiled and kept the cufflinks. Then he hugged Mama Sheng. Oh, it's so rare. Actually, Sheng Xiao was just apologizing in advance. It was because he would never give up on Xiao Qi'er. So he was apologizing. Sheng Xiao, who gave you this? I'll tell you next time. It's late now. I'll send you home to rest. It's okay. I drove here. Mama Sheng held Sheng Xiao. Go to sleep. I'm leaving. After a while, Mama Sheng left the villa. Sheng Xiao took his coat and went back to his house with Mu Qiqi. When he entered the house, he saw Mu Qiqi sitting on the sofa without saying a word. He frowned, but it only lasted for a second. Then, he sat down beside Mu Qiqi and asked, Since it's so difficult, why don't you give up? Mu Qiqi raised her head and looked at Sheng Xiao in shock. What did you say? I thought you couldn't bear to hurt your grandfather. Mu Qiqi quickly put her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck and shook her head. I don't want to. I can do anything to atone for my sins. But I will never leave you. Sheng Xiao was satisfied. He hugged Mu Qiqi tightly. It's different today. Moreover, my mother intervened on purpose. It's normal for Grandpa Sheng to be angry. What about beautiful aunt? Little one, I can't tell you the answer now. Because I won't lie to you. You should have thought of these things before you got together with me. So no matter how difficult it is, what's the use of being afraid? Solve it and overcome it. That's the end. Mu Qiqi thought about it. It seemed like that was the case. She felt a little relieved. Give me some time. I'm scared by Grandpa's reaction. But I will never give up on you. Even if Grandpa beats me to death. Silly thing. Do you think I'll watch as others touch a single hair on your head? Having said that, Sheng Xiao carried Mu Qiqi to the bathroom. He wrung a hot towel and wiped her face. Do you know why my mother is so angry? What is it? Sheng Xiao handed the towel to Mu Qiqi. Then, he took out a cufflink from his shirt pocket. Because of this. Just now, third aunt threw it into the fish tank at the Shun's house. I was anxious and reached out to catch it. Mu Qiqi took the cufflink from Sheng Xiao's hand. She was very emotional. I didn't expect you to treasure such a little thing so much. Chapter 221. Grandpa Shen sent Shen Ruai to the hospital. She was grounded for a month after she returned home. Grandpa Shen was serious this time. He was not joking at all. It seemed that he was really angry. Sun Suyin was taking care of Shen Ruai. She was so angry when she saw her daughter like that. That old man is really inhumane. He is so cruel. Just wait and see. If Mu Qiqi does something wrong, he will not treat her like this. She is easy to bully. Mom, I want to give up now. I don't have the face to see the Sheng family anymore. Shen Ruai sat on the bed and said to Sun Suyin weakly, Daughter, don't you like Sheng Xiao anymore? Shen Ruai could not help but tell Sun Suyin everything that she had seen and heard in Huangyao. Sun Suyin's eyes opened wide when she heard it. She could not believe it. Did you see it with your own eyes? Shen Ruai nodded. I was wrong about him. I thought he was a gentleman. I didn't expect that. Sun Suyin was shocked for a while. Then she came back to her senses. If what you said is true and Sheng Xiao is so ridiculous, then it's better for you to see his true colors. Although wealth is important, my daughter's life is more important. If Sheng Xiao is so ridiculous, then why is the Sheng family so proud? How dare he come to the Shen family and bully us? Mom. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's ask your uncle to find you a more outstanding young man. Oh yes. What do you think about the young master of the Lin family? Sun Suyin noticed that there was no hope for the Sheng family. So, she shifted her attention to Lin Muan. The young master of the Lin family is much easier to deal with than Sheng Xiao. Moreover, he is innocent. He will not fool around with women. If you like him, I can try to get in touch with him. Shen Ruai just wanted to find a way to forget Sheng Xiao now. And the best candidate was Lin Muin. Are you serious? My daughter has thought it through. That's great news. But she did not know that Sheng Xiao was not someone she could hope for. Not even Lin Muin. Sheng Xiao managed to get rid of Shen Ruai successfully. He used some extreme methods. Although he was a devil in front of Shen Ruai, it was good that she was afraid of him. However, the old man insisted on giving Mu Qiqi the young master of the Lin family. We have to think of a way to make Mu Qiqi lose her position in the Shen family. Shen Ruai suddenly recalled the day when she visited Mu Qiqi with Grandpa Shen after the Lin family's banquet. At that time, she suspected that Mu Qiqi was not in the small villa, and that Mu Qiqi's aunt was covering for her. Mother, we can't keep waiting for Mu Qiqi to deal with us. We need to take the initiative. I suspect that Mu Qiqi is hiding something from the Shen family. So you'd better find a way to verify it. How? She's under the Sheng family's protection. You don't have to make it too complicated. You just have to go to the small villa and observe her aunt. You will definitely find something that can be used against her. As long as they could find out that Mu Qiqi had lied to Grandpa Shen would be disappointed with Mu Qiqi. By then, they could seize the opportunity to drive Mu Qiqi out of the Shen family. That would be a reasonable thing to do. All right. Since you said so, I'll make the arrangements. Sun Suyin listened to her daughter. I hope that God will open his eyes and let me find something that can be used against that bitch. In the Shen family, Grandpa Shen was very sad because of Shen Ruai. It was because he could not stand it when the younger generation and the older generation were together. He could not cross that barrier. An elder was an elder. What was the point of being together with the younger generation? Shen Ruai had done such a silly thing. As her grandfather, it was embarrassing for him to say anything about it. It was embarrassing. So Grandpa Shen was upset at home. He did not have a good meal for a few days. In the end, he had a high fever. He could not take it anymore and fell ill on the bed. When Mu Qiqi heard about it, she went to visit Grandpa Shen after class. She saw Grandpa Shen acting like an old urchin. She took the bowl of porridge from Huang Yu and fed it to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, why do you have to do this? How can I face the Sheng family in the future? Grandpa Shen still could not accept it. He felt very upset. Grandpa, your health is important. Dad has just recovered. Are you going to lie down again? Mu Qiqi persuaded him. Moreover, Sister Ruai is also in the hospital. She is badly injured. She has been taught a lesson. Qiqi, I don't have any hope for Shen Ruai anymore. I just hope that you won't disappoint me. Grandpa, don't give me so much pressure. You know that I am even more disobedient than Sister Ruai. Mu Qiqi let Grandpa Shen sit up and eat the porridge obediently. You're the best. We've tried to persuade him many times. But he just can't accept it. Second aunt, Grandpa will think it through sooner or later. After Grandpa Shen fell asleep, Mu Qiqi planned to leave the Shen family. But she bumped into Sun Suyin, who had just returned from the hospital. They did not look happy when they saw each other. It was as if they were enemies who killed each other's parents. Mu Qiqi, don't be too proud. You will have this day too. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. She left the Shen family directly. She knew that she would have this day. But it was not now. She just hoped that Grandpa Shen could be healthy. Then, he would not refuse to eat because of her. Sun Suyin sneered when she saw Mu Qiqi leaving. Now she had sent someone to monitor the little mansion. She was keeping a close eye on Suzy Pei. She did not believe that she could not find out Mu Qiqi's secret. To Mu Qiqi, every time she returned to the Shen family and saw Grandpa Shen's sad face, it was a kind of torture for her. But she was not afraid of this torture. She was firm in her belief. Just like what Xiao Xiao said, no matter how many difficulties there were in front of her, even if she could not see the future, she would still persist. So after she had such a mentality, she became more calm. But Shen Ruai and her daughter had shifted their target to Lin Muin. This was also the first time Sun Suyin went to Grandpa Shen's room calmly and talked to him for a while. I know you don't want to see me, but I'll leave after saying a few words. Grandpa Shen was so angry that he turned his back to Sun Suyin. Chapter 222. It was certainly worth considering, because the Sheng family would never tell anyone about it. How embarrassing would that be? But he felt that it would be unfair to the young master of the Lin family. But there was no better way now. It was better to let Shen Ruoyi be with Lin Mu, and then to let her be with Sheng Xiao. I will think about it. You can leave now. Humph. That's more like it. Sun Suyin snorted. Grandpa Shun was still humane. He was not evil. However, Lin Mu, and had to be willing to be the one to plot against him. Since he met Lu Qianqian, Lin Mu, and always wanted to flirt with her. He would argue with her when he was free. How could there be such a wonderful thing in the world? They exchanged phone numbers when they met last time. Lu Qianqian even said that she wanted to have a hand-to-hand fight in the martial arts club. How could she withstand his punches? But he did not expect that Lu Qianqian would send him a message in the middle of the night. She asked him to meet her in the martial arts club the next day. Lin Muan agreed almost immediately. The corners of his mouth curled up unconsciously. However, he did not know that Lu Qianqian was in a bad mood. She could have gone to the crew to waste her energy and time. But because of what he said, she did not have any more scenes. So Lin Muan had to take responsibility. Duan Xiao, and was going to be sentenced. The man whom she loved for so many years ended up like this. Although Lu Qianqian said that he deserved it, she was actually very sad. The next morning, Lin Muan woke up early. He put on his sportswear, and was about to go out. But Grandpa Lin stopped him. Go home early tonight. I want to have dinner with Grandpa Shen. Okay. Lin Muan guessed that Grandpa Shen must be talking about Mu Qiqi. So he just laughed it off. But he did not expect that it was Shen Ruoyi this time. When he arrived at the martial arts club, Lin Muan saw Lu Qianqian hitting the sandbag. He walked over and leaned against the sandbag. He saw Lu Qianqian sweating. I didn't know that you are quite strong. Go away. Lu Qianqian was venting her anger. Her tears and sweat were mixed together. Lin Muan felt the pressure on her. He quickly put on his boxing gloves. Do you believe it? You won't even be able to touch the corner of my clothes. Lu Qianqian was instantly pissed off. She pounced on Lin Muan and rode on him, giving him a good beating. Lin Muan quickly fought back, and the two of them rolled on the ground a few times. Finally, Lin Muan subdued Lu Qianqian. Are you grinding your claws? What a little chilly. Who asked you to cut off my path to stardom, and make me suffer so much? Just for a supporting role? Is there a need for this? You know nothing. Lu Qianqian pushed Lin Muan away and stood up. She wiped her tears and sweat. I'm in a bad mood today. No, it doesn't matter today. As long as I'm in a bad mood in the future, you have to be my sparring partner. Give me a reason. Because you have a mouth that deserves a spanking. Mu Qiqi was much gentler than she was. Or was it because she was hurt that she pretended to be like this? Alright, I can promise you that. However, you must also promise me that I will be your sparring partner for a day. And you must return me a day's worth of time. On that day, no matter what I ask you to do, you must not refuse. What about the conditions? However, Lu Qianqian did not refuse. It's a deal, scumbag. How am I a scumbag? Lin Muan was very curious. He stood up from the ground. Look at the stuff you've written. You've praised men to the heavens. Conceited, shameless, and reliable central air conditioner. I hate men like that the most. I definitely won't fall for it. After hearing Lu Qianqian's words, Lin Muan laughed. He laughed very heartlessly. You didn't fall for it. If you didn't fall for it, why are you standing here now? That's because I asked you out. Then I will ask you out in the future. After Lin Muan finished laughing, he patted the seat beside him and said to Lu Qianqian, Come and sit down. Tell me why you are venting so crazily, and why you treat the punching bag as your enemy for 10 lifetimes. Lu Qianqian calmed down and sat cross-legged. Then she said to Lin Muan, That bastard has been sentenced today. Just because of this, is it worth your punching the punching bag's chest? Lu Qianqian did not say anything. She felt that it was very strange. There were some things that she could not say to Mu Qiqi, but in front of this disgusting man, she could pour out her bitterness. Let me tell you a rule. I will teach you how to distinguish between men. Those who look honest and honest are actually coquettish. But look at me and the crown prince. They look no different from playboys. But in fact, they are the ones who are not interested in women. You? Lu Qianqian looked at him from head to toe. Your whole face says that I want to flirt with you. Do you think I am stupid? Lin Muan burst out laughing. He pulled her up. Come on. Let's move. Since I am your sparring partner today, you can use my body as you please. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes. This man never forgot to flirt with girls. But before they knew it, they stayed in the martial arts club for the whole day. When they got home at night, Lin Muan was smiling. When he saw old Shun, he remembered that he had a dinner appointment today. I'm sorry, old Shun. I need to go up and change. It's okay. Grandpa Shun waved his hand to show that he did not mind. He was here to persuade Lin Muan. He wanted to see if he could help Lin Mu and Shun Ruoi get together. Let's go, old Shun. Let's talk while we eat. After the dinner, Lin Muan finally understood Grandpa Shun's intention. He also understood his grandpa's intention. Actually, his grandpa had talked to him before. He wanted to know if he liked Mu Qiqi, but it was obvious that Grandpa Shun was not satisfied with Mu Qiqi's birth. Speaking of Shun Ruoi, how perfect was she? She was well-educated and knowledgeable. Moreover, she was born in a good family. So the two old men seemed to have reached a tacit agreement. They did not even ask for Lin Muan's opinion. But he was not angry. Anyway, Shun Ruoi did not like him either. But he did not expect that Shun Ruoi would change her mind all of a sudden. Muan, if you have time in the future, you should visit Miss Shun more often. I heard that she is hospitalized now. You should go and visit her when you are free. Sure. Lin Muan nodded and agreed. He could visit a patient. But it depended on whether he was sincere or not. Shun Ruoi was not a person to be trifled with. Chapter 223. After Grandpa Shun met Lin Muan, he went back to the Shun family and told Sun Suyin a piece of good news. Sun Suyin knew that Lin Mu and promised to visit Shun Ruoi. So, her attitude towards Grandpa Shun became better. You finally behave like a grandfather. You don't have to run around for that bastard every day. Are you going to start again? It was rare for Grandpa Shun to be happy. But Sun Suyin started to pressure him again. Wasn't she annoyed by her words? Sun Suyin knew that Grandpa Shun played a key role this time. So she kept quiet. But there would be a good show in a few days. Because she had been observing the small villa for a few days. But she did not see Mu Qiqi go back. Not even for a day. I have been watching outside for so many days. I have seen all kinds of people. But I did not see Mu Qiqi entering or leaving the small villa. I have asked the people in the villa. There is only one door in the villa. The other doors are all locked. So I am sure that the bastard has another place to stay. Shun Ruoi was deep in thought after she heard what her mother said. If she is not staying in the small villa, there is no need to hide it from Grandpa. Unless it is a secret. I think so too. But Mu Qiqi is under the protection of the Shung family now. It will be difficult to follow her. Mom, you don't have to do it yourself. Go to Shengting University and find a helper. You can ask Mu Qiqi's classmate to help you. Then, it will not arouse suspicion. That's a good idea. I'll get it done tomorrow. I am getting more and more curious. What is the secret of this bastard? By the way, your eldest uncle is also in this hospital. I will bring you to see him when you are better. From the first day the mother and daughter entered the hospital, Shen Jianchuan already knew about it. The mother and daughter who bullied Mu Qiqi were like snakes. They were always scheming. Although he was not in the Shen family, he knew everything about the Shen family. Apart from what Grandpa Shen told him, he could also make his own judgment. So, Shen Jianchuan soon found out from the nurse what the mother and daughter said in the ward. After all, he was an old man in the hospital. It was not too difficult to ask the nurse for a favor. Through the nurse, Shen Jianchuan found out that the mother and daughter were investigating the matter of Mu Qiqi not staying in the small villa. As her father, he deduced that Mu Qiqi was already living with that brat. That was why no one could know about it. She was only 18 years old. Was she going to hand over her life to someone else? Even so, Shen Jianchuan still asked the nurse to contact Mu Qiqi and asked her to come to the hospital. Mu Qiqi did not know what Shen Jianchuan wanted to say, but she could feel that it must be very important. Tell me the truth, Chi-Chi. Are you living with Sheng Xiao now? After listening to Shen Jianchuan's question, Mu Chi-Chi could not deny it. She could only nod in silence. We have been living together. Have you decided on him? Dad, we've already discussed this before. Mu Chi-Chi answered Shen Jianchuan firmly. Although Shen Jianchuan felt that it was a pity he had not found a son-in-law for his daughter, but he still told Mu Chi-Chi about Sun Suyin and her daughter. Even if you don't stay in the small villa, you must go back every day. Even if you come out after that, you must not leave any gap for them to investigate you. Shen Ruoyi and her daughter already know that you have not returned to the small villa for a few days. Now, they are planning to bribe your classmates to find out where you are staying. Mu Chi-Chi felt sorry for Shen Jianchuan. Dad, I'm sorry. I know that my daughter has grown up, but I've told you before that I'm very capable. Even if I lie here and can't move, I can still protect you. Fortunately, they are in this hospital. What would you do if they were in another hospital to deal with you? The matter of Shen Ruoyi liking Xiao Xiao has been exposed. Grandpa is very angry. He beat Shen Ruoyi up and forbade her from leaving the Shen family. If Grandpa knows about it one day, Xiao Xiao and I don't know how sad he will be. Since you're so afraid, why are you still with Sheng Xiao? I can't live without him. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes were firm. Thank you, Dad. I'll handle this matter well. Handle what? They just want to stir up trouble in front of Grandpa Shen. You just have to play along with them. You can also dispel Grandpa Shen's worries. Shen Ruoyi is so obsessed with Sheng Xiao, even though she has almost no chance to see him. So, do you think your grandfather will think that you're so close to Sheng Xiao? He's just pretending to be ignorant. He's lying to himself before he sees the evidence. I understand. Xiao Qi, it's fine if you like him. It's not a heinous crime. Sheng Xiao treats you very well. As a father, I have nothing to say. Your grandfather will accept you sooner or later. Only Shen Jianchuan understood her at this time. Mu Chi-Chi smiled. I was in a hurry when I left home. So, I asked Xiao Xiao to send me here. Do you want to see him? He kidnapped my daughter. Do you think I'll accept him so easily? No way. Shen Jianchuan said. After I recover, I'll ask him to visit me properly. Okay. Mu Chi-Chi hugged Shen Jianchuan's arm and rubbed against it. She tried to feel her father's warmth and protection, but when she thought about it, she realized that Sun Suyin and her daughter had done too many things to her. She had no reason not to fight back. Just like what her father said, she would play along with them. She would make Grandpa Shen hate them completely. She might even chase them out of the Shen family. She did not want to do that, but someone forced her to do it. Mu Chi-Chi stayed with Shen Jianchuan for a little longer in the hospital. Then she went home with Sheng Xiao. But on the way home, Mu Chi-Chi had told Sheng Xiao about Shen Ruoyi and her daughter. Sheng Xiao entered the living room. He did not say a word. He just hugged Mu Chi-Chi quietly. Since we're playing, let's play it big. But, I don't understand why they won't let me go. Shen Ruoyi made a mistake and was punished by Grandpa Shen. But you're fine. So of course, they'll try their best to find fault with you. What's there to understand? At first, I wanted to let them go. But they're too scheming. Since they want to investigate so much, I'll let them investigate to their heart's content. There's a path to heaven, but they don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but they want to go. Chapter 224. Lin Mu, and was ordered to visit Shen Ruoyi in the hospital. He behaved like a gentleman and gave her flowers. Sun Suyin could not stop smiling when she saw that. She immediately made room for them and found an excuse to leave the ward. Shen Ruoyi was lying on the bed. She looked like a sleeping beauty. Although she did not have any special feelings for Lin Muan, she still looked at him gently. Muan, thank you for coming. Sister Ruoyi, don't say that. I'm worried about your health. Lin Muan addressed Shen Ruoyi as his sister to draw a line between them. Although he had promised the elders that he would visit Shen Ruoyi, it did not mean that he had to obey their arrangement. Shen Ruoyi could feel that Lin Mu and was trying his best to draw a line between them. It was really strange. He had just said that Mu Chi-Chi and Lin Mu and were a good match for each other a few days ago. Now he was slapping her in the face. I'm fine. I'll be discharged from the hospital soon. That's good. I have something to do in the afternoon. I won't accompany you anymore. I hope that you'll be healthy the next time we meet. Lin Muan was a gentleman, but he was too polite. Sun Xian saw Lin Mu, and leaving her daughter's ward so quickly. She could not help but ask, "What happened? Did you have a bad conversation?" "He was ordered to visit me. How could he be sincere?" Shen Ruai said embarrassedly. "It's okay. Feelings can be cultivated slowly. Don't worry. Daughter, when you're discharged from the hospital, you should go out and have fun. Young people will fall in love very soon. Your grandfather has helped you a lot this time. He still has a conscience." What could Shen Ruai do? She nodded her head. She would admit to everything. After Lin Muan left the hospital, he went to the florist again and bought a bouquet of flowers. The florist saw Lin Muan and smiled at him. "Sir, are you going to see a patient again? Is it the same as the one just now? Give me a new bouquet of flowers. I want the most beautiful one. I want the freshest one. And I want the best packaging." "Okay. Please wait a moment, sir. This is for your girlfriend, isn't it? You can tell from how much effort you put in." Lin Muan smiled but didn't say anything. He quickly took the bouquet of carefully wrapped flowers from the hands of the flower shop attendant and went to the martial arts hall. Just like last time, Lu Qianqian had already arrived. When she saw him holding the flowers, she immediately blurted out, "Don't tell me it's for me? Have you received flowers before?" "Lin Mu," and asked Lu Qianqian as he took off his coat. Lu Qianqian was silent and did not answer. In other words, she did not receive it. "Isn't that enough? I'll be merciful today and let you feel the envy of others." After Lin Muan finished speaking, he went to the changing room. After changing, he came out of the changing room. "What do you want to vent about today?" "I wonder what I'll do in the future." Lu Qianqian pouted. "I used to be an obedient child, but I learned a lot of unconventional things from that scum, such as boxing, billiards, and those things in the club. But now those things are meaningless to me. I'm not as smart as Chi-Chi. She's studying in Shangting University. She went there to learn how to cut up corpses." Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. "Anyway, I want to beat you up again today. Think carefully. Including today, you owe me for a total of 2 days. When the time comes, I'll make you pay me back." "I'm afraid of you." Lu Qianqian was not afraid of his tricks. But when she saw the bouquet of flowers on the table, she was quite touched. It was like a child who had never been loved and suddenly had a candy stuffed in her mouth. That feeling was really different. "You were wearing a suit and leather shoes just now. Where did you go? Shouldn't people of your profession stay at home and think about your plot?" "I went to visit the patient. A woman, Mu Chi-Chi's cousin." Lin Muan made a fake pose and waited for Lu Qianqian's fist. "I seem to understand. Could it be that this bouquet of flowers is—" "You're thinking too much. It's just a bag of flowers sent to the hospital. It's economical and practical. I was in there for a total of 3 minutes, including the time I took to walk." Lin Muan shrugged. "I don't have a good impression of this woman. It's really rare. It's rare. Eat my punch." Lu Qianqian used all her skills to vent all the resentment in her heart. The two of them stayed like that for another day. Then, the two of them lay on the ground, sweating profusely. Lin Muan suddenly said to Lu Qianqian, "You're the only daughter in your family. The burden of the Lu family will be handed over to you sooner or later. In that case, why do you still have to think of a way out? That's the way you should take on. Wouldn't it be fine if you carry out the successor training? Things seem to be that simple." Lu Qianqian nodded. "Thank you for the flowers." After saying that, she got up and took the bouquet of flowers away. In order to feel the envious gazes of others, she deliberately walked home. Sure enough, the number of heads turned along the way was astonishing, especially from the girls. They were filled with endless envy. At that moment, Lin Muan got up from the ground and sent a message to Lu Qianqian. "Tomorrow it's your turn to accompany me. Be careful. I'm a person who can ask for anything." Lu Qianqian put away her phone and finally smiled. On the other hand, Mu Chi-Chi knew that Sun Suyun and her daughter were investigating her. So, she deliberately left the school and went back to her and Sheng Zhao's new home. She purposely let the mother and daughter know that she had another place to stay. The students who followed Muqiqi could not enter the villa. So, she did not know that Sheng Xiao was also in the villa. In order to give Sun Suyin more material to complain to Grandpa Shen, Muqiqi would prepare more scenes for others to see. Then, when Sun Suyin came with Grandpa Shen, the scene would be interesting. Sure enough, when Sun Suyin knew where Muqiqi's new home was, she was very excited. But they could not act rashly, because Muqiqi might have a new home. But it did not mean that she had any secrets. They must find out more about her, so that Grandpa Shen would be disappointed, or even hate Muqiqi. She did not know that Shen Jianchuan already knew about her and Shen Ruoi's scheme. It seems that things are starting to turn for the better. God is helping us. You can be discharged from the hospital in 1 day. Then, you should hurry and ask the young master of the Lin family out for a date. Mom, I know what to do. Don't worry about it. Chapter 225. Shen Ruoi knew that Lin Mu and had great potential. But Lin Mu and was not as obedient as he seemed to be. I'll buy some delicious pastries and visit the Lin family tomorrow. I'm relieved that you're enlightened. Sun Suyin was relieved. Shen Ruoi was not enlightened. She just thought of Sheng Zhao's hobby of teasing girls. It was so creepy. Moreover, she had embarrassed herself in the Sheng family. Now, she just wanted to erase this devil from her mind as soon as possible. So the next morning, Shen Ruoi went to visit the Lin family after she bought some pastries. But Lin Muan was in his office. He asked Lu Qianqian to come with him. Imitate my signature. There are 2,000 books that need my signature. Lu Qianqian crossed her arms and shook her head. Why would the readers want to buy your books? Why do you have to fake this? I need them tonight. I won't be able to sign all 2,000 books, even if I break my arm. That's easy. Can't you just sign it? It's better to sign for someone else if you're not sincere. Lin Muan looked at her and shook his head. Then go and take off your clothes. Hey pervert. Take off your coat. And help me take care of the flowers. You don't want to get wet, do you? Lin Muan turned around and looked at Lu Qianqian. There was an evil smile in his eyes. Or, do you want to get wet? Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. Let me tell you, I don't have any feelings for men now. I won't be interested, even if you stand in front of me naked. You sound like you should be saying that to men. I don't know how to take care of flowers. I deserve it if you kill them. Lin Muan smiled and let her be. He focused on sitting in front of the mountain of books, obediently in front of him. He only wrote the word in each book. It saved him a lot of trouble. Then, he would ask his assistant to prepare 2,000 gifts as a gift to apologize. Looking at Lu Qianqian, she was like a rich young lady when she was quiet. But when she opened her mouth, she was like a firecracker. Lin Muan was immersed in his signature again. But he received a call from Shen Ruoi soon. Muan, I bought some pastries for you. But I don't know where you are right now. Will I disturb you? Lin Muan was stunned. Could it be that he didn't make his attitude clear when he went to the hospital? I'm sorry, Sister Ruoi. I have an appointment today. I'll definitely visit you another day to apologize. Lin Mu, and always kept a good distance from women he didn't like. He would never give them any chances or misunderstandings. Dating wasn't about making do. It was about liking each other, wasn't it? All right then. After Shen Ruoi hung up the phone, Lin Muan fell into deep thoughts. Shen Ruoi clearly wanted to matchmake him with Muqiqi. Why was she so nice to him now? This was not a good sign. Lu Qianqian saw that he was in a daze after answering the phone. She sneered. Since you have an appointment, go. Do you really want me to go? What does it have to do with me? Lu Qianqian continued to bury her head and focus on the plants on the ground. This little pepper was really irritating. It seemed that he had to think of a way to avoid this rotten peach blossom. Shen Ruoi did not know that she did not have a good ending with Sheng Xiao. Now that she was in the Lin family, Lin Muan still despised her. Of course, before he could avoid this rotten peach blossom, he had to know why Shen Ruoi suddenly went to the hospital and changed her attitude towards him. Perhaps Muqiqi could answer his question. But according to Muqiqi's character, she would not gossip about others. So he could only call the crown prince and ask him about it. He promised Lu Qianqian that he would meet Sheng Xiao, and Sheng Xiao owed him a favor. It was not too much to ask the crown prince to return the favor, right? So Lin Muan picked up the phone in front of Lu Qianqian. He dialed Sheng Xiao's number. Crown Prince, I need a minute. I want to ask you something. Say it. Sheng Xiao raised his eyebrows and put down the contract in his hand. Based on your relationship with Mu Qiqi, you must know why Shen Ruoyi is hospitalized, right? Grandpa Shen beat her up. Why? Because she sneaked into my office and was caught by my mother. I understand now. Lin Muan understood immediately. Sheng Xiao's intention was clear enough. Shen Ruoyi failed to fall in love with him, and Grandpa Shen found out about it. So she was beaten up. It was the same case of a niece falling in love with an uncle. Mu Qiqi's ending was too different. If that's the case, it'll be easy. Thank you, Crown Prince. Lu Qianqian was curious when she heard the two men talking about Shen Ruoyi. Is Shen Ruoyi related to the Crown Prince? Don't worry. The Crown Prince loves your Xiao Qiqi very much. I'm the one who is in trouble now, but I've thought of a way to avoid it. Since she had made a fool of herself in the Sheng family, she still dared to come to him shamelessly? Could it be that he really looked like a spare tire? It had better be so. What will you do if the Crown Prince has another woman outside? I'll let Qiqi leave him. Lu Qianqian answered Lin Muan firmly. You're such a playboy. You won't understand how pitiful and scary a person can be when they are in love. The Crown Prince is Qiqi's first love. She sounded as if Mu Qiqi was not Sheng Xiao's first love. It was just that no one knew about it. You go and tell the Crown Prince. And you, since you're related to Shen Ruoyi, don't come to me. I hate men like you the most. But Lin Muan laughed when he heard what Lu Qianqian said. So, do you think that you're a woman who will have a relationship with me? Yes, we're enemies. Are you satisfied with this answer? This man, 2 out of every 3 sentences he said were meant to seduce women. Lin Mu, and did not continue to quarrel with Lu Qianqian. He was thinking about how he should tell his grandpa about it in an interesting way when he returned home. Lu Qianqian stayed in Lin Mu's studio until the afternoon. Then, she thought that she should go and have a meal with Mu Qiqi, because she was interested in Shen Ruoyi. Mu Qiqi rushed to meet Lu Qianqian after class. Of course, she knew that someone was watching her closely. Qiqi, I was in Lin Mu's studio today. I heard Lin Mu calling the Crown Prince to ask about Shen Ruoyi. What's the relationship between the Crown Prince and Shen Ruoyi? Mu Qiqi smiled. She did not answer her question. Instead, she asked, Since when are you so close to Lin Muan? I'm worried about you. Don't worry. I'll tell you slowly. Mu Qiqi said, as she poured a cup of fruit tea for Lu Qianqian. At the same time, Lin Muan had entered the house. He saw his grandpa and walked to him. Grandpa, Miss Shen came to look for you today, but you weren't here. Chapter 226. Grandpa Lin glanced at him and nodded his head. Go ahead. Lin Muan walked to Grandpa Lin and sat down on the sofa. His expression was complicated. Of course, it was all an act. I heard that Miss Shen is hospitalized because of a man, but the man's family does not want her. So, Grandpa, think about it. Old Shen wanted me to get to know Miss Qiqi more during your birthday banquet. But a few days later, she became Miss Ruoyi. Don't you think it's strange? I don't want to affect the friendship between you and old Master Shen, but there are some things that I have to say to him. Grandpa Lin thought for a while and did not refute his grandson. It was because Lin Muan had always been considerate. Moreover, he had never disobeyed him on such matters. No matter which lady he met, they would always praise him. So since Lin Muan felt embarrassed, he had to investigate Shen Ruoyi's case carefully. Is this news reliable? Yes, Grandpa. You know that I won't tell you if it's not because I can't live with it. Don't say any more. Although I'm good friends with old Shen, you're the pride of the Lin family. How can you be someone's backup? Don't bother about the Shen family. You don't have to see Miss Shen if you don't want to. Thank you, Grandpa. Lin Muan said it in a subtle way, but Grandpa Lin managed to get the point. It seemed that he did not waste his years in the government. Although he was not as good as the Crown Prince, He did not need to be a backup. What was Shen Ruoyi thinking about all day? Mu Qiqi told Lu Qianqian about what happened in the Shen family while they were talking. Qianqian was speechless when she heard about Sun Suyin and her daughter. In other words, Shen Ruoyi was scared off by the crown prince. Now she thinks of Lin Muan again. Is that what you mean? Judging from the current situation, it seems so. No wonder Lin Mu and wants to ask the crown prince about this. Perhaps he wants to find a way to get rid of this vase. Lu Qianqian sighed. TSK. She must be worried about getting married. Now she can find herself a backup. Lin Muan must be very angry. Well, I don't know. How interesting. Lu Qianqian was actually unaware that so much had happened to Mu Qiqi while she was grieving. That mother and daughter are still looking for a chance to expose you and cause trouble? Yes. I can only say that they've eaten a bear's heart and leopard's gall. They're courageous. I really want to know how Lin Muan got rid of this big vase. So Mu Qiqi and the others already knew what was going on. Only Sun Suyin and her daughter were still daydreaming. You're so close to Lin Muan. Why don't you just ask him? Go to hell. You're making fun of me. Lu Qianqian pushed Mu Qiqi. After that, Mu Qiqi returned to the villa. The classmate who followed her was really energetic. She and Qianqian had been sitting in the cafe for so long, but she could still hold on. After she entered the villa, the classmate secretly asked the security guard at the entrance which building Mu Qiqi was staying in and what the house number was. However, he did not tell her, so she secretly gave him some cash. Then she got the answer. That girl has moved into our villa for some time. She is living with a man, but I don't know who they are. Every day they go home one after another. If you want to know who her man is, you can come here another day. As for the rest, I can't tell you the house number. It's enough. That's enough. The security guard was satisfied, because she had gotten what Sun Suyun and her daughter wanted. Mu Qiqi is really living with a man. Sun Suyun was very excited. It's a pity that we don't know who the man is. Mom, Mu Qiqi is not on guard now. It's just a matter of time before they find out. Don't be anxious. Shen Ruoyi reminded her. Let's bear with it for a while. By the way, how did it go when you went to meet young Master Lin today? He's not at home. Shen Ruoyi answered casually while removing her makeup. Don't you know how to look for him when he's not at home? I'll go tomorrow, said Shen Ruoyi. Sun Suyin was satisfied when she heard what Shen Ruoyi said. That's more like it. It was getting colder at night. Mu Qiqi was still walking around the house barefooted. Sheng Xiao carried her on his shoulder and walked to the bedroom when he saw her. Xiao, are you purposely walking barefooted to make me feel bad? Does your butt not hurt anymore? Sheng Xiao placed her on the edge of the bed. Then he squatted in front of her and put on the soft slippers for her. Mu Qiqi quickly covered her, but when he mentioned her butt, don't spank my butt all the time. I'm an adult now. No matter how old you are, you're still a little thing in my eyes. Moreover, I've been treating you like a father and a brother ever since you started sticking to me. Why are you arguing that you're an adult now? If I want to punish you, I'll have to spank you. I'll remember to wear shoes next time. Can you let me go, Crown Prince? You've gotten what you want. Sheng Xiao pinched her nose. Then, he stood up and left the bedroom, but Mu Qiqi seized the opportunity and threw herself on his back. Sun Suyin and her daughter already know that I'm living with a man here. They'll definitely try their best to confirm the man's identity. Why don't I show my face to them? Sheng Xiao teased Mu Qiqi on purpose. I'll let them know that I don't want their daughter. I want you, my little thing. Wait a little longer. Sheng Xiao smiled. In fact, he knew very well that the little one did not want to expose their relationship just yet. She always wanted to grow up quickly and become more and more outstanding. That way, there would be less gossip about her, and it would be better for him. Anyway, my birth is already a topic that people always laugh about. I don't care about my reputation. But I care about you. I don't know what I should do to stop people from talking about me. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He carried Mu Qiqi to the study. Then, he let her hang on his back like a koala. Do you love me that much? After a while, Sheng Xiao lowered his head and asked the person in his arms. Muchichi was half awake. But she still answered him. I love you. I love you very much. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He just hugged his little one tightly in his arms. Would the love of an 18-year-old make people feel that it was light and weightless? But Sheng Xiao believed in Muchichi. The love of an 18-year-old was pure, clean and wholehearted. Chapter 227. These days, Shen Ruai went to see Lin Muan for a few times. But Lin Muan rejected her every time. Shen Ruai vaguely felt that something was wrong. Lin Muan had been perfunctory the last few times. But recently Lin Muan was too lazy to be perfunctory. Sometimes he did not even answer her calls or reply her texts. No matter how despicable Shen Ruai was, she should know what he meant. But the Lin family and the Shen family have been friends for many years. Moreover, it was the two elders who had helped them. Even if Lin Muan was dissatisfied with her, he would not pretend that she was pestering him. He was bullying her. Shen Ruai was not convinced. So, she sent someone to follow Lin Muan for a few days. She found out that he was very close to a woman recently. She was Muchichi's good friend, the young lady of the Lu family, Lu Qianqian. Shen Ruai did not think much. She went straight to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, you seem to support me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But you don't want to help me, do you? Shen Ruai, how can you talk to your elders like this? Huang Yu immediately asked Shen Ruai. What happened to your well-mannered demeanor? Second aunt, you don't know this. Grandpa supports me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But he has been ignoring me these days. Do you know who he is with? He is with Muchichi's good friend. The one who had a miscarriage when she was 18. Grandpa Shen frowned when he heard that. You feel uncomfortable too, don't you? I think so too. I am the young lady of the Shen family. How can I lose to a second-hand woman? Moreover, Lu Qianqian is Muchichi's good friend. Can I understand that Muchichi asked her friend to seduce Lin Muan? Father, Muchichi is not that kind of person. Huang Yu immediately spoke for Muchichi. Huang Yu, call Muchichi and ask her to come here. Grandpa Shen did not make a decision. Because he did not know about it, he would not take sides. When Muchichi received the call, she felt that she was in trouble. So, she rushed back to the Shen family immediately. Once they entered the house, all the elders were gathered in the living room. Sun Suyin and her daughter were crying and standing at the side, while Huang Yu looked furious. Muchichi, do you think our Ruai is not miserable enough? Do you want to add insult to injury? Before Grandpa Shen could say anything, Sun Suyin had already accused Muchichi. Of course, Muchichi was already used to it. Is it my fault if anything goes wrong in your family? Muchichi asked in return. Muchichi, just tell me. Do you know the relationship between Lin Muan and Lu Qianqian? What's their relationship? Muchichi asked in return. After all, Lu Qianqian and Lin Muan did not do those dirty things that they imagined. Then do you know that Grandpa wants me and Lin Muan together? When did Grandpa tell me? Muchichi asked. Look at you. You are pretending to be innocent, and you don't know anything. You and Lu Qianqian are good friends. Do you dare to say that you don't know that she and Lin Muan are together? Grandpa Lin Muan has been pretending to be busy these few days. He ignored me, but he is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. How can I not suspect Muchichi? Are you kidding me? Lin Muan is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. Why are you looking for me? Muchichi was angry. She raised her voice. Yes, Lu Qianqian is my good friend. But why are you so sure that I know about it? Grandpa, you never told me that you want Shen Ruoi and Lin Muan to be together. Didn't you? Grandpa Shen nodded. He did not tell Muchichi about it. But he was not feeling well at the moment. He could not say a word. So no one noticed it. Fine. Even if you don't know anything, you should understand my plan now, right? As a member of the Shen family, shouldn't you do something for the Shen family and let your good friend know her place? Don't disturb other people's happy occasion. First of all, I don't think that you are doing something for the Shen family. You are the one who shamelessly went to someone else's office and embarrassed yourself. Why should everyone help you? Why should others help you to live a happy life? Moreover, Qianqian is the young lady of the Lu family. Her family background is not worse than yours. But she is shameless. She had an abortion when she was 18. What about you? You went to someone else's office and got caught red-handed. How good can you be? Grandpa Shen was angry when he heard them quarreling. Shut up, both of you. How can you two sisters quarrel like this? Grandpa, I don't know what this has to do with me. Why did you call me here in the middle of the night? You should find the reason why my sister is not favored by others. You should not ask me. The Lin family is not stupid. Can't they tell the good from the bad? It is obvious that you are trying to drive a wedge between us. Perhaps, you have even told the Lin family about what happened to me in the Sheng family. It seems that Sister Ruoyi is determined to put the blame on me, isn't it? Mu Qiqi did not argue with Shen Ruoyi when she saw how persistent Shen Ruoyi was. Anyway, no matter how she explained, the mother and daughter were right. How dare you say that it has nothing to do with you? Fine. I admit it. I am the one who did it. I asked Lin Muan to ignore you. I also asked my good sister to provoke Lin Muan. So, you have no chance at all. Are you satisfied with this? Grandpa, she admitted it. Shen Ruoyi pointed at Mu Qiqi and shouted at Grandpa Shen. Grandpa. Yes, I admit it. Not only this time. If there is such a thing in the future, I will interfere. I will tell everyone that the Sheng family doesn't want you. Don't you dare. Sun Xian threatened Mu Qiqi loudly. A bastard is a bastard. Slap. No one expected that Mu Qiqi would hit Sun Xian. If you dare to call me a bastard again, I will let the whole Jianchuan know about your daughter's scandal. Do you believe me? Mu Qiqi, how dare you hit me? If you and your daughter bully me like this again, I will still hit you. Mu Qiqi said fiercely. Isn't it just bullying my father who is lying on the sickbed? Isn't it just bullying me, because I didn't grow up in the Shen family? Let me tell you, I Mu Qiqi will not tolerate you today. I won't tolerate you in the future. Sun Xian was furious. She wanted to slap Mu Qiqi, but Shen Lin grabbed her wrist. Third aunt, you can't hit Qiqi. Grandpa, I know that you want to be fair, because you are not only my grandpa, but also the head of the Shen family. But, I have told you before that I will not mistreat myself for the sake of this family. Because, to me, I only cherish those who care about me. Chapter 228. Grandpa Sheng looked at Mu Qiqi, and Mu Qiqi looked back at him with teary eyes. It was the first time that the grandpa and the granddaughter were so tense. I believe you. But Qiqi, you shouldn't have hurt your elders. Grandpa Shen said after a while. His eyes were blurry. That's a different matter. Apologize to your third aunt. She said that I'm a bastard. If she can apologize, I can too. In the past, I was slandered again and again in the Mu family. No one spoke up for me. Everyone hated me. Is everything going to happen again in the Shen family today? Mu Qiqi was very determined. She replied in a domineering manner. That's right. Is it my fault that Shen Ruoyi can't win Lin Muan's favor? Then, Mu Qiqi burst into tears. If you can't accept me, just tell me directly. I'll leave. Why do you have to humiliate me and hurt my heart? Grandpa, is this what you want to see? Xiaoqi. Huang Yu called Mu Qiqi. She felt sorry for her. I'm unnecessary. I'll leave now. Then, Mu Qiqi turned around and walked toward the gate without hesitation. At that moment, Grandpa Shen stood up from his seat. He said to Shen Ruoyi in front of everyone, apologize to Qiqi. Why should I apologize to her? Shen Ruoyi was not convinced. Because you've wronged her. I didn't. Otherwise, why would Lin Muan be with Lu Qianqian? Mu Qiqi could not bear it anymore. She took out her phone and called Lin Muan. Then she said in front of everyone, Lin Muan, Qiqi? Lin Mu, and did not know that he had caused such a big commotion in the Shen family when he ignored Shen Ruoyi. Can you tell me why you don't want to see Shen Ruoyi? Lin Mu, and could hear the trembling in Mu Qiqi's voice. He knew that it was not a simple matter. So he answered her. Mu Qiqi pressed the speaker button. I only treat Ruoyi as my sister. I don't have any other thoughts. So I think it's necessary for me to let Sister Ruoyi know my attitude. But she thinks that I'm trying to sow discord between you. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. What does it have to do with you? What about Qianqian? Have you been close to her lately? Muchichi, don't I even have the right to make friends? I got to know Lu Qianqian because of filming. We have some interactions, and she happens to be your friend. Besides, Lu Qianqian and I are just ordinary friends. But some people think that I asked Qianqian to seduce you, Muchichi said into the phone. They think that it's my fault that you ignore her. Isn't this a little funny? What does this have to do with you? If my words and actions have caused any misunderstanding, I will ask my grandfather to come and apologize to you. Thank you, Lin Muan. After that, Muchichi hung up the phone and looked at Shen Ruai. On the other hand, Shen Ruai looked terrible. You brought this embarrassment upon yourself. With that, she called Sheng Xiao. Can you come and pick me up? Hearing Muchichi's sad voice, Sheng Xiao immediately sat up on the sofa. Wait for me. No one knew who Muchichi was calling, but they could hear the sadness in her voice. Huang Yu put her hand on Muchichi's shoulder to comfort her. At the same time, she understood Grandpa Shen's predicament. Grandpa Shen knew that Xiao Qiqi was disappointed in him, because he did not stand up for her in time. So she had to turn her back to him. Now the truth is right in front of us. Sin Suyan, Shen Ruoi, you have wronged Muchichi without distinguishing between right and wrong. You have blamed her for all these groundless crimes. What else do you want? Are the two of you clinging on to Qiqi? I've told you that she is just an outsider. She will never side with the Shen family. So what if I wronged her? Can't she take this little punishment? If that's the case, why are you still standing with the Shen family? Get lost. You are the one who should get lost. When the two elders were quarreling, Shen Ruoi cried. I know that I am not as good as your sister in Muchichi's heart. But you should think for me. Can't you ask Lu Qianqian not to come and make trouble for us? Muchichi did not want to talk to Shen Ruai at all. She turned her back to the Shen family. In just 15 minutes, Sheng Zhao's men came to the Shen family's courtyard. They took Muchichi from Huang Yu's hands. What's wrong? Muchichi did not say anything. Her eyes were red. It's them. Third brother's family said that Muchichi asked Lu Qianqian to seduce Lin Muan. So, Shen Ruai could not be with Lin Muan. Sheng Xiao hugged Muchichi in front of the Shen family. Then he said to Shen Ruai, I am the one who told Lin Muan about you. Why? Do you want to settle the score with me? Shen Ruai was stunned. Everyone in the Shen family was stunned. Grandpa Shen, what did I say? The Sheng family can afford to raise Muchichi. If you don't like her, I can take her away. You promise me that you will not let her be bullied in the Shen family. But how many times have you done that? You and I know what kind of person Shen Ruai is, and what kind of person Sin Suyan is. If you think that your compromise and Muchichi's tolerance can balance the family, then we don't have to stay in the Shen family. But let me tell all of you, especially Shen Ruai. If I find out that you bullied Xiaoqi again, I will make sure that you have no place to stay in Jianchuan. I mean what I say. Let's go. Then, Sheng Xiao wanted to leave with Muchichi, but Muchichi shook her head and walked toward Shen Ruai. Slap. It was another slap. Since I am wrongly accused, I will make sure that it is true. From today onwards, I will ruin your plan. With that, Muchichi followed Sheng Xiao, and the two of them soon disappeared from the Shen family's residence. Muchichi asked Sheng Xiao to come and pick her up. How sad must she be for her to do that? Grandpa Shen could not say anything at this moment. He felt that there were always so many things happening in the family when Sin Suyan was around. Father. Huang Yu was worried about Grandpa Shen's health, so she called out to him. But Grandpa Shen waved his hand and said to Shen Ruai and her daughter, both of you should move out. The Shen family will not keep you anymore. Sin Suyan and Shen Ruai were shocked when they heard that. Grandpa. Chapter 229. Grandpa Shen stood up from the chair. He held his breath and walked to Sin Suyan. Before she could say anything, he slapped her face and shouted hysterically, Get lost! Get lost as far as you can. Then, Grandpa Shen's body fell down. The Shens were so frightened that they came forward to help him. Father! Grandpa. Shen Ruai wanted to help Grandpa Shen. But Shen Lin pushed her away. Because of you, the Shen family is in a mess. Grandpa has collapsed because of you. Are you happy now? Don't touch Grandpa. Shen Lin, ignore them. Send your grandpa to the hospital. Grandpa Shen wanted to speak for Mu Qiqi, but he could not, because he had been holding on. He was heartbroken when he saw what happened. He knew that Mu Qiqi was disappointed in him, but he did not want Sun Suyin to hold Xiaoqi's weakness against her. Mu Qiqi even hit him. Qiqi. Grandpa Shen kept calling Mu Qiqi's name when he was unconscious. Huang Yu was helpless. So she called Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, I know you are angry with your grandpa, but he has fainted. He is on the way to the hospital. Come and see him. Because of the phone call, Sheng Xiao suddenly changed his route home. Grandpa Shen was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. The doctor checked him and knew that he was hurt. How can you make an old man so emotional? Normal people should not be able to take it. Are you trying to kill him? Fortunately, Grandpa Shen's life was not in danger, but he still did not wake up. After a while, Mu Qiqi arrived at the ward. She felt bad when she saw Grandpa Shen lying on the bed. Qiqi, actually Grandpa loves you, but the doctor said that he has not recovered from his cold. There is inflammation in his lungs. It has not happened yet. He is feeling very uncomfortable. After you left, Dad slapped Sun Suyin hard. Then, he asked them to leave the Shen family. He loves you. Don't be angry with him. Mu Qiqi walked to Grandpa Shen's bed and shook her head. I am not angry with him. Dad is old. There are many things that he can't do. He just wants you to be well. Mu Qiqi held the old man's hand. She understood that it was a lose-lose night. No one had the upper hand, especially when Grandpa Shen was hospitalized. Mu Qiqi took a deep breath. She took a long time to calm down. You must be tired today. Go back and rest. Shen Lin will take care of your grandfather. He will tell your grandfather that you are not angry with him. Late at night, Huang Yu patted Mu Qiqi's shoulder and comforted her. Don't think too much. Rest well. Mu Qiqi got up from the chair and went home with Sheng Xiao. But on the way home, she did not say a word. Xiao Xiao, Mu Qiqi, Don, Sheng Xiao ran all the way with her. He was still angry about how she had been wrong just now, because the moment he received Mu Qiqi's call, Mu Qiqi's aggrieved tone was still in his heart. He could not forget it no matter how hard he tried. This little one had been with him for a long time. She had never felt so wronged. But tonight he heard it again. His heart felt like it was rolling in a pan of oil. The feeling of being tightly gripped was really torturous. So just now he ran red lights all the way. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. It was not worth it for them. So she hugged Sheng Xiao's arm. Everything was the same when they reached home, because she believed that the mother and the daughter would be punished by God. Sun Suyin was still in a state of disbelief. Grandpa Shen had told her and Shen Ruai to move out of the Shen family. Although Elder Sheng had collapsed, he was serious about what he said. Mom, why are you still here? Shen Ruai asked Sun Suyin while holding the suitcase. Didn't you hear what Grandpa said? Ruai, your grandpa asked us to move out. Are we going to move out? Sun Suyin grabbed Shen Rui's shoulder and shook it. I'm not leaving. I'm a part of the Shen family. But Grandpa is serious. We still have to leave when he comes back. No, I'm not leaving. I'll wait for him to come back. I beg him not to let us wander outside alone. Sun Suyin cried. I didn't expect that your grandpa would chase us away, because of that bastard. Mom, maybe we've gone too far. Shen Ruai regretted. It seems that Mu Qiqi has nothing to do with this. We've suffered a great loss now. Grandpa will never trust us anymore. I want to stay. I haven't found out the secret of that little b*tch. I'll stay until then. So the mother and daughter were shameless. They did not listen to Grandpa Shen's order. But they still had Shen Lin in the family. After they came back from the hospital, Shen Lin threw Shen Ruai and Sun Suyin's belongings out of the Shen family. Shen Lin, have you been bewitched by that little b*tch? How could you do this to me? Grandpa asked you to get out of the Shen family. Shen Lin did not just throw their luggage out. He even kicked them out of the Shen family. Because of you, the Shen family will never be peaceful again. Why don't you say that it's because of that little b asterisk tch? I'll sew your mouth shut if you dare to say anything bad about Mu Chichi again. Get lost. After that, Shun Lin closed the main door of the Shun family and asked the guards at the door not to let them in. Sun Suyin did not expect that she would be thrown out of the Shun family. She was furious, but she could not do anything to Shun Lin. Mom, let's find a hotel nearby and wait for Dad to come back. Shun Ruai helped Sun Suyin up. Just you wait. I'll come back sooner or later. By then, I'll cut Mu Chichi into pieces. Moreover, she had just found out Mu Chichi's secret. How could she give up? But Lin Mu and Lu Qianqian felt bad about what happened in the Shun family, although it had nothing to do with them. But the Lin family came to Grandpa Shun's house early in the morning to apologize. Brother Shun, I'm sorry. I've made you suffer. Grandpa Lin apologized to his best friend. It's all my fault. She didn't do a good job. That's why it's a disaster. Muin, come and apologize to Grandpa Shun. Grandpa Shun, it's my fault. It's not your fault. Grandpa Shun waved his hand. But, how did you know that girl from the Lu family? Chapter 230. Grandpa, you've always taught me that I can't deny a person's entire life just because he made one mistake. Moreover, Lu Qianqian is not a heinous person. Could it be that we can't even have normal contact because of her bad reputation? You're just like Mu Chichi. Young people are not as rigid as us. Grandpa Shun stood up and spoke for Lin Muin. Since Grandpa Shun is speaking for you, I will forgive you for now. But you must know your place. It's better for you to stay away from a girl like Lu Qianqian. Grandpa, I know what I'm doing. Grandpa Lin snorted. This matter was over. But he still felt sorry for Shun Ruai. It's such a pity for Ruai. Grandpa Lin was not thinking about Shun Ruai. He was thinking about Mu Chichi. How could she trust him after she hurt Mu Chichi's feelings yesterday? Grandpa Shun, let's forget about the matter between Muin and Ruai, since the two of them quarreled with each other. Grandpa Shun nodded. I understand. You can't force a relationship. It's the children's business. Let them deal with it themselves. You're right. Lin Muin heaved a sigh of relief. But at the same time, he felt uncomfortable. In the eyes of the older generation, murder and arson were not as dirty as a girl getting pregnant and having a miscarriage. They would think that the girl was not a good girl. But to him, it was just a little chilly who met the wrong person. That was all. After Old Master Lin and Lin Muin left, Huang Yu sat by the bed and told Grandpa Shun. Shun Lin threw the mother and daughter out of the Shun family. Dad, I know what you said in a fit of anger yesterday might not be true, but Shun Lin, it's good that he threw them out. Unexpectedly, Grandpa Shun agreed with Shun Lin's action. If we don't teach them a lesson, they will always be so shameless. They won't give up on Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi was wronged yesterday. She must be very sad. But she still came to see you when I called her. Although she was sad, she was not angry at you. I'm sorry for the child. I'm sorry for Boss. Grandpa Shun sat on the bed and grabbed the quilt tightly. He could not let go of his feelings. When he thought about it, he hated Sun Suyin even more. Chichi will understand. She can also tell that eighth brother cares about this child very much. Grandpa Shun did not say anything. It was exactly what he was worried about. Shun Jianchuan was indeed the person who knew him the best. Shun Ruai did not even have the chance to get close to Sheng Xiao in the past. But she was so infatuated with him. Chichi had spent so much time with Sheng Xiao. How did she feel about Sheng Xiao? However, Grandpa Shun did not say it out loud. Shun Ruai and Sun Suyin had to stay in a nearby hotel for the night, because they were chased out of the house. When third elder of the Shun family came back from a business trip, he found out that his wife and daughter had been chased out of the house. Of course, he was angry. Even if they were in the wrong, they were still a family. Was there a need to be so cruel? Third brother Shin went straight to the hotel and put his wife and daughter's luggage in the car. Let's go home. Dad, we were kicked out by Grandpa. You are my family. Who dares to chase you out? Come with me to the hospital. After that, Third brother Shen brought his wife and daughter to the hospital. Then, he went to Grandpa Shen's ward. You stand here. I will go in. Third brother Shen stopped his wife and daughter outside the ward. After he entered the ward, he questioned Grandpa Shen. Dad, I did not come back for one night. Why did my wife and daughter get chased out of the Shen family? Third brother, Dad has just recovered. Don't be angry at him. Huang Yu immediately said to third brother Shen. I cannot be angry at you, Dad. But I will bring Ruai and Suyin home now. Is it necessary for our family to end up like this? Dad, you're forcing me to be enemies with Muqiqi. Grandpa Shen pointed at third brother and said, You should move out too. Dad. Who asked you not to take care of your wife and daughter? You are taking advantage of my old age to do whatever you want in the Shen family. You accuse this person and provoke that person. Do you want me to die? Grandpa Shen was ruthless. He said the toughest words. Either you stay and they go, or the three of you get lost. Dad, I will discipline them. Please give us another chance. If they really do it again, it won't be too late for you to kick us out. Just for Ruoi's sake, you can't let your granddaughter wander outside, can you? You wanted to bring Muqiqi back, because you don't want the bloodline of the Shen family to wander outside, right? Grandpa Shen remained silent for a while. Finally he said, It is not impossible for them to come back. But, the mother and daughter must apologize to Muqiqi in front of her. They must promise that they will not do it again. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about. All right. I will ask them to apologize to Muqiqi. In front of me. It's a deal. Third brother Shen had no choice but to leave the ward with Grandpa Shen's condition. He told the mother and daughter about it. But such a condition was worse than letting Sun Suyin die. Last night, Muqiqi had slapped both mother and daughter in a row. I would rather die than bow down to this be asterisk starred. Just bear with it for now. You can find a chance to teach her a lesson in the future. Do you want to wander outside? Sun Suyin thought for a while. She suppressed her disgust and nodded. I will bear with her this time. It was because she and Shen Ruai had found the place where Muqiqi was fooling around with other men. Once they got the evidence, she would ask Muqiqi to kneel down in front of Grandpa Shen. Rui, what do you say? Third brother Shen asked his daughter. I will listen to you. She did not have the temper to live outside. Moreover, it would be difficult to deal with Muqiqi after she left the Shen family. If that's the case, find a time to apologize to Muqiqi personally. Moreover, the two of you should behave yourselves from now on. Don't pick on Muqiqi in front of Dad. You know very well that she is his favorite. Humph. Sun Suyin snorted. What favorite? If Grandpa Shen knows about Muqiqi's true colors, I'm afraid he will stab his own eyes. You can say it when you get the evidence. Otherwise, you will suffer in silence like what happened yesterday. Just wait and see. Chapter 231. Actually, Muqiqi knew very well that it was almost impossible to drive the mother and daughter out of the house after what happened last night. After all, they did not do anything wrong. Moreover, Grandpa was still angry. But for the mother and daughter to lower themselves to apologize to her, she felt that she could accept it, because it had nothing to do with her. So she replied, Huang Yu, I will come over after class. Then Muqiqi sent a message to Sheng Xiao. She told him that she would go to the hospital after class. Sheng Xiao did not say anything else. He only said, Don't let me hear your sad voice again. I will lose control. She saw Sheng Xiao losing his temper last night. But she did not want him to lose control again. I will not show any mercy to the mother and daughter. You better. Muqiqi's sad voice last night kept replaying in Sheng Xiao's mind. When he thought of it, he wanted to take out his gun and kill her. How would you feel if a few pieces of trash touched something that you treasured so much? Muqiqi smiled and pocketed her phone. His loss of control last night had made her realize even more deeply how deep his feelings for her were. In the past, she always thought that she had given more feelings to him. But, when she thought of Sheng Xiao's anxious expression last night, she suddenly felt that she was too stupid and naive. After the incident with Shen Ruai, Lin Muan still texted Lu Qianqian as usual. But Lu Qianqian ignored him. "TSK. Did I offend you, little pepper?" Lu Qianqian read the message. But she did not reply. Because she could imagine what kind of words they would say when she was mentioned. She was a delinquent. Shameless. She should stay away from her. Because of that, when Mu Qiqi did not care about what others thought of her, and still treated her as a good friend, she swore that no man would be able to replace Mu Qiqi in her heart. She could not have a man. But she must not let her friend down. Lin Muan looked at his phone and did not reply. Actually, he could guess the answer. They were all adults. They did not need to be so naive. Because many problems were very practical. Since they were people from two different worlds, there was no need to forcefully link them together. What was the point of adding unnecessary harm? Of course, Lu Qianqian had also considered Lin Muan's suggestion that day. Since she could no longer go abroad, she should take on the responsibility of the family. So, Lu Qianqian took the initiative to tell Papa Lu, "Dad, I will learn how to do business from you in the future." Pleased, Papa Lu smiled lovingly at Lu Qianqian. "No matter what outsiders think of my daughter, I will always be proud of you. Dad, don't worry. I won't let you down." Because no one could rely on their youth to constantly make mistakes and not grow. Soon, the sun set in the west, and the blood-red rays of the setting sun were reflected on the tall buildings of the hospital. At that moment, Mu Qiqi was already at the door of Grandpa Sheng's ward with a medical book in her hand. "Qiqi, you're here. Come in." Huang Yu saw Mu Qiqi through the crack in the door, and quickly said to her. Mu Qiqi pushed the door open, and saw Grandpa Sheng lying on the bed. Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai were standing beside the bed. It seemed that they were ready to apologize. "Xiaoqi, Grandpa." Mu Qiqi put down the book, and sat beside Grandpa Sheng. "Where's the one who should apologize?" Grandpa Sheng did not turn his head. But he was hinting at Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai. Sun Suyin took a deep breath. Although she was not happy, she could only endure it. She looked at Shen Ruai, and turned her body slightly to look at Mu Qiqi. "Qiqi, it's my fault last night. I wronged you. I hope you won't take it to heart. I'm sorry." "Qiqi, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have wronged you. I won't do it again. Please forgive us." It was a very stiff sentence. It was as if she had memorized her lines beforehand. It did not sound like she was apologizing sincerely. Of course, Mu Qiqi did not look at them. She lowered her head and said, "You're just afraid of being chased out of the house. So, you had to endure it this time. It doesn't matter whether I forgive you or not." "What do you mean by it won't happen again?" "Only you believe it when you say it. But I have to respect Grandpa. I won't pursue it anymore. But if it happens again, I won't be polite. There won't be a next time." Sun Suyin smiled apologetically, but she kept reminding herself to endure it. Anyway, this little bitch would not be arrogant for long. "Qiqi, trust me. I'll discipline them well," Shen Qianqian quickly promised her. "Otherwise, I won't have the face to see Dad anymore. Since you've apologized, get out of here. Qiqi, and I don't want to see you anymore." Grandpa Shen held Mu Qiqi's hand, and said to Shen Qianqian and his family. Shen Qianqian did not say anything else. He left the ward with his wife and daughter. When they were at a place where the Shuns could not see them, Shen Qianqian said, "Let's move back now. We don't want Mu Qiqi to play tricks on us, and make Grandpa Shen change his mind." In the ward, "Qiqi, Shen Qianqian, and his family are like this. I'm sorry that you've been wronged. Why do you have to be hospitalized because of anger? Is it just to make me feel bad?" Mu Qiqi's eyes were red. "You shouldn't be so agitated no matter how I fight with the Shen family. You're already so old. Why are you still getting involved? Are you trying to make me feel guilty?" Grandpa Shen's hands were trembling. He patted Mu Qiqi's head. "I didn't dote on you for nothing." Shen Qianqian and his family only cared if they would be chased out of the house when they saw him hospitalized. They were worried that they would get nothing. But Xiaoqier was different. She was really concerned about his health. "If I fight with them again in the future, you can just hide in the pond. I'll just tear the roof off the Shen family's house. I'll just put the roof back on." Grandpa Shen smiled weakly. Huang Yu sat at the side and cried quietly. Mu Qiqi was really a sentimental child. Compared to her, Shen Qianqian and his family seemed to be heartless. Fortunately, Grandpa Shen knew that he would be treated sincerely by his granddaughter if he could tell right from wrong. Otherwise, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Just wait and see. That family is still going to make trouble. Grandpa Shen understood it very well. Sheng Xiao was right about something last night. He hoped that the family could be balanced. But there would always be people who had endless desires. It was time to make a choice. Even if Shen Qianqian and his family were no longer part of the Shen family, he believed that Mu Qiqi would be able to bear the burden of being the head of the family. But was there any relationship between her and Sheng Xiao that beyond being a benefactor? Chapter 232. Sun Suyin arranged for someone to follow Mu Qiqi from the school to the new house. She wanted to wait for the wild man to show up. She thought that Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai would restrain themselves after being taught a lesson, but she had underestimated their determination to deal with her. The tutor I hired for you will come to your house to tutor you from tomorrow onwards. Sheng Xiao took the chance to tell her when they were at home. The security guard at the door will help you. The security guard thought that the tutor was Mu Qiqi's man. He pointed him out to Sun Suyin and asked her to take a photo. He thought that the tutor was the man who lived with Mu Qiqi. Then, the tutor would come to her house to tutor her at a fixed time every day. Sun Suyin thought that the tutor would come home at the same time every day. Then, she would bring Grandpa Shen to catch them in the act. As for Jing Yun, he blocked the identity of the tutor so that Sun Suyin would not be able to find out his background. Then he arranged for another child to tutor Mu Qiqi every day. So, it would not be difficult for a man and a woman to talk to each other. If Sun Suyin dared to tell Grandpa Shen about it, she would be kicked out of the Shen family. As for the information of the villa, Sheng Xiao had temporarily transferred it to Lu Wenhua's name so that he could deal with Grandpa Shen's investigation. The security guard at the entrance of the villa would cooperate with him. Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai would bring Grandpa Shen to their house. Everything was ready. Sun Suyin also got the man's photo. Not only that, she also got a photo of Mu Qiqi and the man walking out of the villa together. Sun Suyin thought that she would not take action immediately. She wanted to investigate the man's background first. She wanted to give Mu Qiqi a fatal blow. She wanted Mu Qiqi to never be able to make a comeback in front of Grandpa Shen. But she could not find anything. And because she could not find anything about the man, Sun Suyin became even more suspicious. The more he did not want others to know about it, the more suspicious it would be. 2 days later, Grandpa Shen was discharged from the hospital. Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai quietly went to the hospital to fetch Grandpa Shen, but they did not say a word during the whole process. It seemed that they had learned their lesson, but they were plotting something behind their backs. Mu Qiqi knew what the mother and daughter were planning, and was waiting for them to make their move. But this time, the mother and daughter managed to keep their composure. Grandpa Shen also found it strange. With Sun Suyin's personality, how could she not cry or make a fuss? One could imagine how big of a secret was hidden behind her current silence. On the night when Grandpa Shen returned to the Shen family, he told Shen Ruai directly at the dining table. Old Lin came to me personally and told me about the matter between you and Lin Muan. Just let it go. That guy doesn't like you. You can't force him. Yes, Grandpa. Shen Ruai was calm. Grandpa Shen stole a glance at Sun Suyin and realized that she did not say a word. Why aren't you speaking when it's your turn to speak? I have talked to Ruai about this a long time ago. We are not going to marry into the Lin family. Sun Suyin appeared to be calm, but she was actually panicking. I hope that you really want to understand and not do some dirty tricks behind my back. Grandpa Shen reminded him while he was eating. Third brother, don't forget what you promised me. If this mother and daughter cause trouble in the Shen family again, please get out of the Shen family. I have accepted it. Even without you, I still have eldest brother, second brother and youngest brother. Third brother looked at his wife and daughter and nodded. Don't worry, father. because he could feel that Grandpa Shun was not willing to put his energy on the mother and daughter anymore. He was completely disappointed. Sun Suyin did not say anything, but she felt upset. She obviously hated Mu Chichi to the core. Shun Ruai wanted to tell Grandpa Shun what kind of person Mu Chichi was. But Sun Suyin stopped her. It's not the right time yet. Let's wait for Grandpa Shun to calm down first. I'm afraid that Mu Chichi will notice it. We can't do that. Didn't you hear what Grandpa Shun said? If we cause trouble again, he will drive me out. We will do it when he is in a better mood. Shun Ruai was very angry. She was filled with hatred when she thought about how she slapped her that night, and how she spoke to Mu Chichi in the hospital. And Lin Muan, how could he choose a pair of used shoes instead of her, a pure and innocent young lady? She felt terrible when she thought about the humiliation. She needed to find a stronger backer, so that those who had humiliated her would all regret it. These few days, Lin Muan tried to tease Lu Qianqian with words. But she did not respond to him. Was this little pepper really angry? Did she not want to play with him anymore? Lin Muan felt that he should give up now. Lu Qianqian's attitude was very obvious. So there was nothing else he could do. He could only lose a friend. The filming of Reuniting the Mirror was ready. But the producer told him that the person who replaced Lu Qianqian was not going to act in the role. So they had to find another actor. Lin Muan wanted Lu Qianqian to act in the role again. But, according to Lu Qianqian's character, she would not return. She would not accept his invitation. After thinking about it, Lin Muan felt strange. Why did he always try to get involved with Lu Qianqian? It was not a good sign. Then Lin Muan deleted Lu Qianqian's number from his phone. It was not fun to play such a dangerous game. Actually, after Lu Qianqian agreed to be Papa Lu's successor, she had to start training as a private tutor. To her, Lin Muan was just a person she knew among thousands of people. Moreover, she had her pride. Even if she had an abortion and her reputation was ruined, she would not throw herself at a man. These few days, Grandpa Shun was thinking about changing Mu Chichi's surname. It was because Sun Suyin kept saying that Mu Chichi did not have the same surname. He also wanted Mu Chichi to return to the family. So Grandpa Shun discussed it with the Shun family at the dining table. Shun Jinyan and his family did not have any objection. They felt that it was reasonable. But Sun Suyin and the others had different opinions. If they changed Mu Chichi's surname, it seemed that Shun Ruai would have to give way to Mu Chichi from now on. She would have to give up her position as the eldest daughter of the Shun family. So Sun Suyin did not look happy. But she held it in. Chapter 233. I don't mind. Sun Suyin quickly expressed her attitude. Although you don't mind, I don't think so. Dad, I can't do anything if you say so. Sun Suyin took the opportunity to leave the dining table. She had not found a chance yet. If she found one, she would let everyone see how shameless and audacious Mu Chichi was in the outside world. Dad, Suyin did not say anything. Moreover, you don't have to be so aggressive just because of Mu Chichi. Shun Qianqian could not stand it anymore. He put down the bowl that he just picked up. This is my home. I can force whoever I want. Shun Qianqian had no choice but to leave the table. He could not stay in the house anymore, because of the current atmosphere. When Shun Qianqian returned to his room, Sun Suyin was wiping her tears. She cried even harder when she saw her husband. What does your father mean? Since he asked us to come back, he treated us with such an attitude. Is he trying to force us to leave, so that Mu Chichi can come in openly? Isn't he still angry? Does your father know what Mu Chichi has done outside? Sun Suyin asked Shun Qianqian loudly. Lower your voice. Do you really want to be kicked out of the Shun family? Sun Suyin stopped talking. She could not stand it anymore. She wanted Mu Chichi to die a horrible death tomorrow. She did not believe that Grandpa Shun would remain indifferent when he saw Mu Chichi's debauchery. So, she had to hold it in for the time being. Mu Chichi had been waiting for Sun Suyin to make a move. But this time, Sun Suyin was really patient. She was the one who lost her patience. Sheng Xiao saw that Mu Chichi was restless at home. So he held her butt and spanked her. Are you still itchy now? Mu Chichi covered her butt and looked at Sheng Xiao sadly. Xiao Xiao, I will be very anxious if I don't let this matter go. Shen Jianchuan was right. Grandpa must be suspicious about her relationship with Xiao Xiao. He just did not want to believe it or prove it. She wanted Sun Suyin to jump into the trap as soon as possible, so that Grandpa Shen would be at ease. My mom asked me to take you to Sheng Mansion. Do you want to go? However, Sheng Xiao did not answer her about Sun Suyin. Instead, he threw another bomb at her. Meeting the Sheng family? Mu Qiqi promptly straightened up from the sofa and stared at Sheng Xiao. I don't think I'm ready. I don't know the Sheng family at all. And there are so many people in your family. Sheng Xiao chuckled when he saw how nervous she was. You'll have to go in sooner or later. And since it's my mother's arrangement, you won't meet too many Shengs. It's just that she wants to go to the resort and find someone to play with. Since you're so nervous, I'll ask Jing Yin to reject her. But will she be unhappy? You're busy with your studies. That's the best excuse. With that, Sheng Xiao stroked Mu Qiqi's hair to comfort her. This little one was nervous at the mention of the Sheng family. It seemed that the Sheng family was giving her a lot of pressure. They remained silent for a long time. Then, Mu Qiqi raised her head and looked at Sheng Xiao. I'm a coward, aren't I? Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He hooked his arm around her neck and pulled her closer to him. Then he kissed her. An ugly daughter-in-law will have to meet her in-laws sooner or later. But the chances of your family acknowledging our relationship is only 1 in 100,000. Mu Qiqi retorted. If that's the case, do you still want to be with me? Sheng Xiao raised his eyebrows. I won't leave you. Sheng Xiao could not bear to tease her anymore. He pressed her head into his arms. I don't need anyone's permission to be with you. Mu Qiqi could not help but smile when she heard that. She felt so sweet in her heart. In order to make the plan go smoothly tomorrow, Sun Suyin tossed and turned in bed for the whole night. She could not sleep well. It was because it was a life and death battle for her and Shen Ruoi. If Mu Qiqi did not die, they would die. To ensure that Grandpa Shen would catch Mu Qiqi and that man together, Sun Suyin asked the student to wait outside the villa. Once the man was back, she would send a text message to the Shen family and inform them to go and watch the show. If you want to see Mu Qiqi's real face, go to XX Place, XX Villa. The show is going on. Everyone in the Shen family received the text message, including Shen Ruoi and Sun Suyun. Father, I suddenly received this. Huang Yu rushed to the study room and looked for Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, I received it too. Shen Lin passed the text message to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen's face darkened. He immediately thought of Sun Suyun and her mother. But they received the text message too. Sun Suyun, have you forgotten what I told you before? You are stirring up trouble again. Father, I received the same text message too. Don't accuse me without any reason. Isn't it the same as how we wronged Mu Qiqi the other day? I don't know who sent it. Sun Suyin explained immediately. If someone did not do it on purpose, how could they know our phone number? How would I know? I received it too. Father, I think we should go and have a look at this place first. Huang Yu stopped Grandpa Shen from quarreling with Sun Suyun. She was afraid that Grandpa Shen would fall sick again. Moreover, we have to see Mu Qiqi first before we can verify what is going on. The old man snorted loudly. The intimate photos of Mu Qiqi and the man in the mobile phone were very obvious. This kind of bait was good enough. Huang Yu, arrange a car immediately. We'll go and take a look at Qiqi now. Grandpa Shen said to Huang Yu. Then he turned around. But if this is just a rumor, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Grandpa Shen pointed at Sun Suyin and said. But if you're trying to stir up trouble again, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Sun Suyin and Shen Ruai looked at each other. As long as they could lure Grandpa Shen to find out Mu Qiqi's real face, they would be successful. She did not believe that Grandpa Shen would still have the mood to trouble her, when he knew that he was fooled by Mu Qiqi. Huang Yu looked at Sun Suyin meaningfully. It was too obvious. She did not believe that the mother and daughter were innocent. But she believed in Mu Qiqi's character. She wanted to see the mother and daughter being chased out of the Shen family once again. Therefore, the group of people, each with their own thoughts, set off towards the villa in a grandiose manner. Chapter 234. When they arrived at the villa, the security guard at the entrance stopped the two cars. After all, it was a private house. It was not a public place. Shen Lin was in charge of communicating with the security guard. He placed his right hand on the security guard's shoulder and pointed at Grandpa Shen in the car. He said to the security guard, "I'll tell you his identity secretly. Send someone to verify it. Then, tell me which villa this girl lives in. We're going to see her. She's Grandpa Shen's granddaughter. Now that she's in danger, you don't want anything bad to happen to the villa when you're on duty, do you?" The security guard lowered his head and looked at Grandpa Shen through the window. He took the identity card and the phone from Shen Lin and turned around to verify it. After confirming Grandpa Shen's identity, he was shocked. He quickly told Shen Lin which villa Muchichi lived in. Then he let them pass. After that, Shen Lin returned to the car. But Sun Suyan said sarcastically, "Shen Lin is so protective of Muchichi. I'm afraid that the security guard has already informed him. I don't think that Muchichi has done anything shameful. So, she won't know that we're going to the villa tonight," Shen Lin explained. "But you, third aunt, someone sent us a message. He asked us to come and see Muchichi. Why do you look so excited? Is there a conspiracy behind this? Whether there is a conspiracy or not, we'll know when we go and see her. Grandpa has made it clear. If Muchichi did not spread those rumors in the message, you and Shen Ruai will be kicked out of the Shen family this time." Sun Suyan was not scared. Moreover, she had followed Muchichi for a long time. If she did not have any evidence, how would she dare to lure Grandpa Shen to the villa? "You should worry about Muchichi. Brother, this has nothing to do with us," Shen Ruai explained to Shen Lin. "We've promised Dad that we won't cause any trouble in the Shen family. So we'll keep our promise." But who would believe what Shen Ruai said? At least, second brother and his family did not believe it. Soon, the two cars found the house number of Muchichi's villa. Seeing that the lights in the villa were on, they were sure that there must be someone inside. However, whether it was Muchichi and that man, they would only know if they went in. Grandpa Shen glanced at Shen Lin and signaled him to knock on the door. However, Sun Suyan stood in front of Shen Lin and stopped him. "What if he alerts Muchichi? We are already at the door. Why are you reminding me?" Although Shen Lin said so, he still took 2 steps back and let Sun Suyan knock on the door. No one knew what was going on behind the door, and whether Muchichi was living with a man. Sun Suyan stared at Shen Lin. She walked to the front of the villa and rang the doorbell. Soon, a man walked out and opened the door for the Shuns. When the Shuns realized that this was the man in the photo, their facial expressions changed. However, Sun Suyan was smiling coldly and proudly. "Who are you looking for?" The man asked the Shen family curiously. "Father, did you see it? It seems that someone sent a message to us. He is not lying. He is already in the villa. Since Muchichi is living with a man, it is impossible for her to escape from this, right?" Sun Suyan looked at the man who was crossing his arms. He was not afraid at all when he said those sarcastic words. "May I know who you are looking for? Do you know that you are trespassing on private property?" Huang Yu glanced at Shen Lin. Shen Lin understood what Huang Yu meant. So he pulled Sun Suyan away and explained to the man, "We are Muchichi's family. We are here to see her." "You are living with Muchichi. Don't you know her relationship with the Shen family?" Sun Suyan provoked him. "You are right. A bastard and a man are a match." The man listened for a long time before he understood what Sun Suyan was talking about. He was furious. He pointed at Sun Suyan and said, "Who are you? How can you talk nonsense without knowing the truth? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. Just let us in to see what's going on." Sun Suyan raised her eyebrows. "This is a private property. I don't know how you came in. I must confirm your identity first." The man pushed his glasses up. He looked at everyone with suspicion and anger. "What else is there to confirm? This is Muchichi's grandfather." Sun Suyan pointed at Grandpa Shen and said to the man, "The security guards let us in. What else do you have to suspect?" Father, let's go in. It's better not to believe this man's words. Let me tell you, don't look down on Muchichi. She is living with a man at the age of 18. She is the most shameless person. Grandpa Shin's face was tense. He did not say a word. No matter how Tsunsuyan tried to provoke him, he did not say a word. The rest of the Shin family did not say anything either. After all, they had not seen Muchichi yet. Tsunsuyan seemed to be the one telling the story. You can't go in. The man stretched his hand to stop Tsunsuyan, but Tsunsuyan pushed him away. Go away. Then she went into the villa first. After that, Grandpa Shin and the others followed her into the villa. But what they saw was not a scene of a man and a woman living together. It was Muchichi and another girl of the same age. They were tutoring at home. When Muchichi saw the Shin family, she put down the notebook in her hand and stood up. Grandpa, why are you here? They did not see anything unsightly between Muchichi and a man. Instead, they saw Muchichi was studying hard. Shouldn't it be a scene of catching an adulterer? It was fine if it was not a scene of love. But there was not even the most common smell of life. Shin Lin immediately walked in front of Muchichi under Huang Yu's instruction. He said, someone is slandering you for living with a man. So all of us came here to watch a good show. Chichi, I'm going to walk around the villa now. I don't want some people to make a fuss about it. Muchichi's eyes darkened. But she nodded. All right. Shin Lin moved quickly. He looked around the whole place. Then, he went downstairs and told everyone. There is nothing that belongs to a man. Of course not. I'm their tutor. The man who was slandered immediately explained. I come here on time every afternoon. It's not what you think. I'm going to sue you for slandering me. The tutor pointed at Tsunsuyan and said loudly. Well, Tsunsuyan was dumbfounded. She looked at Shinruai. Chapter 235. Tsunsuyan's palms were sweating when she saw that. Grandpa Sheng's face was tense. He sat on the sofa in the living room of the villa. Chi-Chi, tell me quickly. What is going on? Aren't you staying with your aunt in a small villa? Why do you have a house here? And you didn't tell me about it? Chi-Chi listened to Huang Yu's question. She looked at Grandpa Sheng and explained to him. This house belongs to my uncle. It's very close to Shengting University. It's convenient for me to go to school. If you don't believe me, you can check the ownership of this villa. Do I need to tell others about the things my uncle gave me? I didn't tell you because I don't think it's necessary. It's just a temporary place to stay. My uncle just let me stay here recently. Is there a need to make such a big fuss? I see. But someone has an ulterior motive. He thinks that you are living with a man. Huang Yu pointed at Tsunsuyan with her chin. Muchichi looked at Tsunsuyan coldly. Third aunt, I'm not living with a man. You can go around the villa and see if you can find a man. Tsunsuyan was stunned. The person in front of you used to be a forensic doctor from the criminal police. He comes to teach me every day, just so that I can master the practical knowledge of forensic science. Besides, there are also students from Shengting University who attend my lessons every day. What do you think I am? Why are you asking me? I'm not the one who said that you are living with a man. Someone sent a message to all of us. Tsunsuyan started to act shamelessly. She did not want to admit that it was related to her. Besides, everyone is just here to confirm it. It's great that you are innocent. Why are you still holding on to me? If that's the case, go back. It's just a false alarm. Stop. Muchichi stopped Tsunsuyan when she turned around. Do you think that you can come and go as you please in someone else's house? What else do you want me to do? Tsunsuyan turned around and asked Muchichi. I told you that it has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you? Muchichi sneered and stood up. I don't think so. Since you think it's related to me, then show me the evidence. Tsunsuyan did not plan to admit defeat at all. Even if she did not find anything, she had used someone else's phone number to send the message. She destroyed the phone number after that. Muchichi would not be able to find anything. You're quite confident. Don't tell me that the Shin family's information was leaked by yourself. Who has privacy now? Isn't it easy for them to investigate our family? Tsunsuyan was not flustered at all. She was determined to deny everything. I was wondering why you kept stalking my classmate for the past few days. I'm afraid it's because of what you did today, right? Mu Chichi took out her phone and played the video. Yesterday, the security guard at the door told me to be careful because someone was following me. He even showed me this video. I didn't know what the other party's purpose was, but, Grandpa, you came today. Whether it has nothing to do with you, third aunt, you can ask this classmate to confront her. Since you're here today, don't think that you can get out easily. Sin Suyin did not expect Mu Chichi to have a video. She quickly signaled Shen Ruai with her eyes. Shen Ruai stood up for Sin Suyin when she saw that. Chichi, it's not that I want to scold you. Why didn't you investigate it earlier when you knew that someone was following you? Or, are you doing this on purpose, so that we will be kicked out of the Shen family? Is that what you're planning? Do you mean that I've written and directed this show just to target you and your daughter? Isn't that the case? Today, I finally know what it means to be the guilty party, who accuses the victim first. I was tutoring at home when the Shen family indiscriminately barged in and said that I was living with a man. Grandfather, don't tell me that you want to believe that mother and daughter again? Mu Chichi turned around and asked Grandpa Shen. I told you that I noticed someone was following me, but I'm not sure what their purpose is. Did I purposely direct this show myself? Don't try to hurt yourself. You have to make Grandpa believe you every time. Since you can't show us any evidence, we can assume that you've planned all this. Shen Ruoi continued to attack. Mu Chichi opened her mouth and was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Chichi, I got the results of the surveillance around the villa. Come home tomorrow. Mu Chichi was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Aunt, I'm in trouble now. Can you come over? Mu Chichi felt wronged. Okay. Su Zipei only said one word. Then she told Lu Wenhua. It seems that the Shen family is here. Chichi needs our help. Let's go. Let's go. Lu Wenhua took his coat and left with Su Zipei. On the other hand, Shin Chichi thought that Mu Chichi did not have any evidence because Sin Suyin and her daughter were shameless enough to distort the truth. Dad, Mu Chichi is plotting against you. Why are you all so stupid? She's just putting on a show for you. Maybe she's just taking away the things of the men in the house and pretending to be studying to deceive you. Sin Suyin was getting more and more serious as she talked. She did not want to let go of Mu Chichi. Dad, anyone can see that someone wants to frame Mu Chichi. But she failed. So she's trying to frame Mu Chichi. If Chichi was not in class but doing something else and was really misunderstood, her scheme would have succeeded. If she did not succeed, she could then turn around and accuse Chichi of framing her and chasing her away. She would be in the right anyway. Would there still be any justice? Huang Yu could not help but speak out for justice. What? Huang Yu, you're on Mu Chichi's side. Of course you'll speak for her. But, don't forget that Mu Chichi can even defeat Rong Junhan. Not to mention you. Sun Suyin said to Huang Yu. This girl is very powerful. Dad, you should say something too. Huang Yu was worried. Shen Lin. Grandpa Shen did not say anything else. He just asked Shen Lin to bring the classmate to the villa according to the information provided by Mu Chichi. But Sun Suyin stopped him. Dad, the classmate is also Mu Chichi's friend. What if Mu Chichi colluded with him to frame me? Sun Suyin rolled her eyes. Chapter 236. Fine. Since you said that you are not slandering me, what will you say if I can show you the evidence that you and your daughter framed me? I will leave the Shen family now. I will not say a word. Sun Suyin said confidently. You said it. Then Mu Chichi turned to Grandpa Shen. Please wait for me for 10 minutes. What if you slander us? Sun Suyin was not stupid. Since Mu Chichi had made a request, they wanted to get something out of it. I will leave the Shen family from now on. I will never appear in the Shen family again. You said it too. The two of them confronted each other. None of them wanted to give in. It was because Sun Suyin did not believe that Mu Chichi could show any evidence. Mu Chichi was just playing a psychological game. She was betting on whether Grandpa Shen would believe her. They sat in the living room and waited. Muchichi asked the tutor and her classmates to go home. But the tutor did not look good after being slandered. When he left, he still said that he wanted to sue Sensuyun. Sensuyun was not afraid. She wanted to sue Muchichi. Anyway, the most important thing was to win against Muchichi. There was nothing that could not be solved with money. Everyone waited in the house. 10 minutes passed. Another 10 minutes passed. However, the evidence did not come. Sensuyun laughed out loud this time. Muchichi, have you used up all your tricks? I have given you 20 minutes. You still can't show me anything. Shouldn't you keep your promise and never step into the Shin family? At this moment, Su Zipei and Lu Wenhua arrived at the villa. They had a complicated expression when they saw the Shin family. Chichi, what is going on? Aunt, I will tell you everything later. But now, tell me the result of the investigation. You told me that you were being followed yesterday. So, I went to check the surveillance cameras around the villa to see if I could find any clues. Then I found this. Su Zipei took out her phone and showed it to Muchichi. Muchichi passed the phone to Grandpa Shun after she finished reading it. This is the surveillance footage for 5 days. For the past 5 days, Sensuyun had been sneaking around outside the villa. It was a fact. Take a look for yourself. After Grandpa Shun finished reading it, he threw the phone to Sensuyun. Sensuyun's facial expression changed when she saw it. Don't tell me that Chi-Chi was the one who arranged for you to stay in the villa. No, father. She's the one who framed me. Otherwise, why would she know to look for the surveillance camera? Sensuyun tried to argue. I don't know you at all. It was the villa's security who told Chi-Chi that someone was following her yesterday. That's why I went to the villa's security to check the surveillance footage. I wanted to see if I could find any clues. Could it be that I can predict that something like this would happen tonight? Aren't you being too unreasonable? Furthermore, even now, I still don't know what exactly happened. Everyone in the Shun family saw how Sensuyun was waiting for them in the villa. I was wondering why you lured everyone here. So you went to check on Chi-Chi's absence from the villa for a few days. You think that Chi-Chi is living with a man just because you saw her going in and out with a man. Sensuyun, are you still going to deny it? Could it be that Chi-Chi ordered you to wait outside the villa to be filmed, so that you could frame yourself? Sensuyun did not expect that Su Zipei would send her the surveillance footage. She thought that she would succeed this time. Sensuyun could not deny it when she saw the footage. It was because she was the only person in the footage. There was no one else. Continue to deny it. Grandpa Shin shouted. You and your daughter are in cahoots with each other. You're so despicable. How could you put on a show for the whole night? Sensuyun swallowed her saliva nervously. At this moment, she could not explain herself anymore. Say it. You were so proud just now. Why can't you say anything now? Shunruai could not hold it in anymore when she saw how fierce Grandpa Shin was. She ran to him and hugged his leg. Grandpa, please forgive us. We were forced to do this. Ever since Muchichi came, you don't even care about me. I'm so sad. That's why I did this. However, Grandpa Shin was not moved at all. He lifted his leg and flung Shunruai away. Get lost. Do you think that I will believe you now? Shunruai did not expect that Grandpa Shin would have such a big reaction. She was flung away and rolled a few times. Then, her head hit the hard corner of the coffee table. Shunruai screamed in pain. Her forehead was bruised and fresh blood was flowing out. Sensuyun hugged Shunruai immediately when she saw that. My poor daughter. Someone please save my daughter. No one can save you tonight. This time, whether third brother divorces you or not, there's no place for you in the Shin family. This time you'd better get lost. Don't let me see you again. Grandpa Shun had made up his mind. This time, he had made up his mind to get rid of the mother and daughter. Someone please save us. Shun Lin, when you get home, throw all the belongings of third brother and his family out of the Shin family. Also, everything in the Shin family, especially my will not have a single cent of you and your daughter. Don't even think about it in this lifetime. At that moment, Sensuyun could not hear anything, because she knew that she had failed. Mom, I'm in pain. It's so painful. Be good. Let's go and find your father. Let's go and find your father. Sun Suyan got up from the ground. Then she carried Shin Ruai and left the villa. It was because she was too ashamed to stay there. Grandpa Shin did not stop her. Anyway, it was a fact that the three of them had been kicked out of the Shin family. Suddenly, the atmosphere became quiet. Mu Chichi looked at Grandpa Shin worriedly. Is your body okay? I have to stand up for you no matter what. I can't collapse like that like the last time. Grandpa Shin patted Mu Chichi's hand and said, Grandpa, that mother and daughter have only themselves to blame. Fortunately, Mrs. Liu came in time. Otherwise, that mother and daughter would have succeeded. Huang Yu could not help but get angry when she thought of the mother and daughter's faces. Dad, don't be angry. We are not aiming for the inheritance. We will take good care of you. Grandpa Shin nodded. It was a tiring night. Chichi, I'm going home. You calm down. Mu Chichi looked at Grandpa Shin worriedly. Then, she sent the Shin family to the villa. Suzy Pei looked at Grandpa Shin leaving. Then, she grabbed Mu Chichi's hand. Let's go home. Aunt, did I lie to Grandpa? That mother and daughter had ill intentions, so they deserve to end up like this. You don't have to take it to heart. As for how the old man will react when he finds out about you in the future, you'll have to bear with it, because this is your choice. Mu Chichi nodded. I understand. It's a pity that I can't see their luggage being thrown out. Chapter 237. On the way back, the Shuns did not say a word, especially Grandpa Shun. He seemed to have aged a lot. He was not as kind and humorous as he used to be. Too many things had happened recently, and he was exhausted. Father, let me handle these things in the future. Since Shun Lin has not joined the army, let him accompany you fishing more often. Also, let Chi-Chi come here often. Grandpa Shun held Shun Lin's hand and nodded. You can't be missing anymore. I can't do anything about those two people. Don't worry, Grandpa. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll be a decent person in the future. Shun Lin told Grandpa Shun. Grandpa Shun was relieved. He went back to his room to rest after they returned to the Shun family. At the same time, Shun Lin threw third brother's family's belongings out of the Shun family's door. This time, they would never be able to return to the Shun family. Third brother knew about it on his way home. He also knew about the ending of his family. It was a promise he made. So, he had no choice but to leave the Shun family. It was all Sun Suyan's fault. He did not want his luggage now. He needed to find a house for them first. Then he went to the hospital. Shin Ruai's head was injured. She was bandaged now. Third brother sighed when he saw the mother and daughter hugging each other and crying bitterly. How could he blame others for his own death? Rong Junhan was defeated by Mu Chichi. How dare you overestimate yourself? I've told you to keep a low profile. Look at what happened. It's only been a few days, and you've caused trouble again. This time, there will be no place for us in the Shin family's living room. The mother and daughter cried bitterly. At the same time, their hearts were filled with hatred. Shin Ruai was hurt. She even swore in her heart that she would be outstanding one day. Then, she would make the Shuns regret for bullying them. She would do it. In the villa, Mu Chichi was taking out Xiao Xiao's belongings from the warehouse one by one. She put them back in their original places. When Xing Xiao returned home from Huang Yao, he saw Mu Chichi was absent-minded. He pressed her against the wall and looked into her eyes. Why? Are you unhappy that third brother and his family have left? Of course I'm happy, but I also feel that I'm too weak to admit our relationship in front of my grandfather. Mu Chichi looked into Sheng Zhao's eyes. That's why I have to hide your things. I can't let anyone find them. I think I hate myself for being like this. You are the crown prince of Huang Yao. You are in love, but you can't make it public. You have to accompany me in such a childish secret relationship. I like it. Sheng Xiao lifted Mu Chichi's chin and said with a teasing smile. Whether it's in the open or in the dark, it's more interesting when I'm with you. The form doesn't matter. Xiao Xiao. Alright, it's such a good day, don't say such depressing words. Or do you want me to punish you so that you'll shut up? Mu Chichi immediately covered her mouth. I haven't showered yet. I'm covered in dust. Go wash up. I want to see you in bed in 10 minutes. Mu Chichi covered her mouth and quickly moved away from Sheng Xiao's arms, leaving Sheng Xiao with the burden of tidying up the place. Since she's the little thing I like, I have to spoil her till the end. Grandpa Shen was the only one who felt bad that night. It was not because of Mu Chichi. It was because of his daughter-in-law and granddaughter. So his daughter-in-law and granddaughter were such evil people. Did he not teach them well enough? Grandpa Shen sighed when he thought of that. And early the next morning, he called Sheng Xiao. When are you free? Have some tea with Grandpa Shen. Sheng Xiao was holding Mu Chichi in his arms. His eyes darkened when he heard that. Tomorrow. Then Grandpa Shen, prepare the tea. Be punctual. Mu Chichi seemed to hear her grandfather's voice. She quickly sat up from the bed. Sheng Xiao told her, your grandfather is still suspicious. He's still suspicious. So, he asked me to test it out. Then you. That's not something you should worry about. Go wash up. I'll send you to school. Sheng Xiao did not want to put the pressure on his little one. So, he slapped her, but early in the morning. Mu Chichi pouted and got off the bed. Suddenly she had an impulse. When she saw Sheng Xiao following her into the bathroom, she stopped brushing her teeth and said, why don't we tell him? I have my own plans. Sheng Xiao told Mu Chichi. Then, how will you answer Grandpa? Actually, Grandpa Shen had been suspicious. It meant that he was mentally prepared. So, it was better to see how Grandpa Shen would react before speaking. Perhaps to stop Mu Chichi from asking any more questions, Sheng Xiao picked her up and put her on the sink. Then he took away her toothbrush. Xiao Xiao, I'll press you every time you ask. Let's see how much energy you have. Could Mu Chichi say that she regretted it? It was early in the morning. She had to wear a scarf to class. Otherwise, the marks would be seen. He was such an annoying man. The departure of Tsun Suyin and her daughter did not affect the lives of the Shen family much. But Huang Yu was more filial to Grandpa Shen now, because she knew that when Grandpa Shen calmed down, he would definitely miss Shen Ruoi. At the very least, she was his granddaughter who grew up in the Shen family. He still had feelings for her. So, she asked Shen Lin to stay with Grandpa Shen. Mom, Grandpa asked Uncle Sheng to meet him. Do you know why? Huang Yu shook her head when she heard Shen Lin's question. I don't know. Maybe he has something to discuss with him. On the other hand, Lin Muan passed by the martial arts club, where Lu Qianqian worked out in the morning. Suddenly, he thought of the time when he was with Lu Qianqian. This little pepper was really annoying. She said that she would not contact him anymore. Thinking of this, Lin Muan said to the driver, stop the car here. I want to go out and have a look. The driver nodded and stopped the car by the roadside. Lin Muan could not help but go to the martial arts club. Then, he saw Lu Qianqian practicing punching sandbags in the club. This damned woman was really ruthless. Since you don't contact me, you should not come to this martial arts club. Lin Muan could not help but walk to Lu Qianqian. He crossed his arms and leaned against her sandbag. Do you really mind what others say about you? Don't you care? Lu Qianqian glanced at him. Of course, she was panting because she was punching sandbags. I don't care. I care. Lu Qianqian pushed him away. You are blocking my practice. I will continue to be your training partner. Bastard, I am already avoiding you. Can't you see it? Lu Qianqian said angrily. We are not on the same path. Moreover, don't come here anymore. Is this your family's club? You are right. This martial arts club is indeed owned by my family. Chapter 238. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for being with a second-hand woman? Lu Qianqian stopped and looked at Lin Mu, and with sweat all over her face. Perhaps, deep down in her heart, she wanted to have a friend too. But if the friend was different from Mu Chichi, she might be defeated by the rumors at any time. She could be crushed by rumors at any time. so she would only increase the burden on each other by making friends with such a person. Lin Muan looked at Lu Qianqian and said nothing. If that's the case, don't embarrass us. Don't come here anymore. Then Lu Qianqian turned around and left. But Lin Muan did not chase after her, because he was not prepared for it. He never thought that he would have to risk offending his family just to make a friend. Lu Qianqian's decision was the right one. Since he could not stand other people's opinions, he should stop as soon as possible. But Lin Muan felt uncomfortable. Since he had deleted someone else's number, he should be more decisive. He would be looked down upon by others if he was so wishy-washy. Lu Qianqian hid behind him and watched Lin Muan leave the martial arts club. Then she told the receptionist, "If this man comes again, refund him all his fees. Ask him to find another place to train." "Yes, Mississippi," the receptionist agreed with Lu Qianqian, because the martial arts club belonged to the Lu family. On the other hand, Sun Suyan and her family finally felt that they had nothing after leaving the Shen family. With Shen Qianqian's current status, although they were not poor, their life was totally different from when they were in the Shen family. They did not save much money in the past because of their extravagant spending. Now when they needed to use their money, they realized that their pockets were empty. Shen Ruai had changed from the eldest daughter of the Shen family to the daughter of an ordinary family. She did not have a good life anymore. It would not be easy for her to go abroad anymore. Shen Ruai was not satisfied when she thought about it. She must find a rich husband, so that everyone in the Shen family would look at her differently. Stop daydreaming. With our current status, how could the young masters of those clans still take a liking to you? Unless you want to be their mistress. Sun Suyan's words had awakened Shen Ruai. She was right. As a mistress, she could do whatever she wanted with the help of those men. She was still so young. She couldn't lift her hands or carry a load. She needed a man to dote on her. Of course, Shen Laosen and Sun Suyan did not know what their daughter was thinking. They did not know that she had gone crazy from wanting to take revenge on Mu Qiqi. In fact, Mu Qiqi was distracted in school for the whole day. Grandpa Shen had invited Xiao Xiao for tea. She did not know what Xiao Xiao was planning. She also did not know what Grandpa Shen had discovered. She wished that she could grow to 20 years old in one night. That way, she could share Xiao Xiao's burden and not let him carry everything. It was obvious that she was the one who had expressed her love first. But now, it seemed that Xiao Xiao was the one who had to deal with it, be it hiding it or making it public. She hated herself for being like this. Her lover was her own, but when faced with the obstruction of the outside world, she was powerless. Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianqian because she needed someone to support her. Lu Qianqian did not know what to do after hearing about her predicament. "Qiqi, you see my situation now. I'm being mocked by others. If I were you, I would not be willing to make it public. Although I know that you are brave, you should know that gossip is a fearful thing. You might drown in their saliva. Listen to me. Leave everything to the crown prince. Don't be the one who makes it public." Mu Qiqi did not answer Lu Qianqian after listening to her. But there was a clear voice in her heart reminding her that she had made her choice. No matter how difficult it was, she should overcome it. So what was she worried about? With such courage, Mu Qiqi hung up the phone in a hurry. She let go of the burden in her heart. No matter what happened, she was prepared to face it together with Sheng Xiao. If that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? That night, Sheng Xiao could feel that Mu Qiqi was in a good mood. So he purposely pressed her on the desk when she was writing her report. "Seeing that you are so happy, I can't help but want some dessert. There's some in the fridge. I'll get it for you. You're my dessert." With that, Sheng Xiao pushed her blouse up and smiled playfully. Mu Qiqi was stunned. Then she struggled. "Xiao Xiao, I haven't written my report yet. Why do you need to write a report when you have me?" With that, Sheng Xiao threw Mu Qiqi's report in the middle of the study. Then he took off his shirt and pressed her down. Mu Qiqi wanted to say something, but her mouth was sealed by his kiss. She did not have the chance to speak. They kissed passionately. Then they began to make love in the study. At the critical moment, Sheng Xiao stopped. He deliberately hooked Mu Qiqi's chin and asked, "Do you still want me to stop?" Mu Qiqi took the chance and bit his shoulder. You are the worst. You are teasing me. Do you want it? No. Mu Qiqi hugged his neck and answered embarrassedly. Sheng Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up, but the two of them were joined together. Step by step, he brought the little one back to the bedroom. Because tonight, the little one would not have any freedom. The moment Mu Qiqi was put on the big bed, a thought flashed through her mind. It's over. I will definitely fail my subjects after the semester ends. Who asked her to resist the temptation of Sheng Xiao's charming body? But the next morning, when she woke up, she saw the report Sheng Xiao had written for her on the bedside table. Go to school by yourself. I am going to the Shen family. Mu Qiqi looked at the report Sheng Xiao had written. She could not help but mutter. Was there anything this man could not do? A man who graduated from science and engineering was even more professional than a medical student like her. But when she thought about Sheng Xiao going to the Shen family, she could not help but feel nervous. She did not know what Grandpa would say to this man. Early in the morning, Grandpa Shen had prepared the best tea in the Shen family's fish pond. He had also put the fishing rod in place. He was waiting for Sheng Xiao to come and answer the questions in his heart. Sheng Xiao arrived at the Shen family at 8 o'clock sharp. He walked past the Shen family's side courtyard and went straight to the place where Grandpa Shen was resting. He sat down on the chair he had prepared for him. Grandpa Shen poured a cup of tea for Sheng Xiao and put it in front of him. It's rare that you can take the time to meet me, the Crown Prince of Huang Yao. Chapter 239. Who owned the villa near Shengting University before it was transferred to Lu Wenhua? Grandpa Shen went straight to the point and asked Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao finished his tea and put down the teacup. He stopped smiling and answered Grandpa Shen directly. It's mine. Did you already know that third brother and his family wanted to frame Qiqi? Yes, I did. Sheng Xiao answered honestly. Qiqi moved into that villa a long time ago. Can you tell me the exact time? August. Grandpa Shen's hands started to tremble. He realized that Sheng Xiao did not come here just to brush him off. He answered every question very seriously. Then did you also? That is my and Chier's home. Sheng Xiao answered the question that Grandpa Shen wanted to ask the most. Grandpa Shen dropped the teacup on the floor when he heard that. He put his hands on the table and closed his eyes tightly. Xiao Qi and I were together before her identity was exposed. What else do you want to ask? Grandpa Shen did not ask anything. He flipped the table. It was so loud that the servants of the Shen family and Shen Lin were alerted. You are her uncle. You are 1 generation older than her. She is only 18 years old. How could you just... Sheng Xiao, I've always thought that you're the one with the most sense of propriety. You look unruly on the surface, but you would never do such a thing. But now I'm really disappointed. Aren't you ruining Qiqi's reputation by being together with her? Do you want her to be laughed at like Lu Qianqian? Grandpa Shen was very agitated, but Sheng Xiao was very calm. Even though he could not drink the tea anymore, he still answered Grandpa Shen clearly. I want to marry her. You. What do you have to marry her? Will the Sheng family acknowledge her identity? You know very well what I have to marry Qiqi. I have never thought of hiding it from anyone. It's just that Qiqi did not want to make it public. That's why I did not tell anyone about it. It's not because I am afraid of the Sheng family or the Shen family. Old Shen, you should know very well that no one can stop me from doing what I want to do. I can't accept it. How can I accept it? Grandpa Shen kept shaking his head. When I entered the house 2 nights ago, although there was nothing of yours, I could feel that Qiqi was not the only one living in that house. I became suspicious, so I went to investigate the house and found out that it had just been transferred. I should have known. I should have admitted it long ago. But the more afraid I am, the more you will deal me a fatal blow. 8th brother, I can't face you in the future. Grandpa Shen looked at Sheng Xiao's red eyes. He was not just angry. He felt humiliated and broke down. His 2 granddaughters. 2 of them. It doesn't matter. She or I'll still marry her. Grandpa Shen was ashamed and angry. But when Sheng Xiao left, the Shen family was in an uproar, especially Huang Yu. When she found out about this, she was so shocked that she could not recover from it for a long time. Therefore, since Grandpa Shen entered the study room and announced that he would not see anyone, Huang Yu pestered Shen Lin and asked, "What else did you hear?" Uncle Sheng said that he wants to marry Chi-Chi. Oh my god, Mu Chi-Chi is too daring. Huang Yu covered her mouth. But as far as I know, they were together before Chi-Chi's identity was exposed. Shen Lin said to Huang Yu. So they might not have thought that such a situation would happen. They kept it a secret until now, because they were afraid that Grandpa would be sad. I know Chi-Chi's temper. If she had a better way, she would not do this. But she is only 18 years old, and she is already married to Sheng Xiao. Moreover, she is from the Sheng family. Moreover, they are from the same generation. Do you think it's strange that your grandpa would agree to it so easily? Huang Yu sighed. I think so too. I'm afraid that Grandpa will never be able to accept it. Sun Suyan's family must have never thought that Sheng Xiao is Xiao Qi's. Shen Ruai has been thinking about it for a long time. Huang Yu glanced at Grandpa Shen's room. Then she told Shen Lin, "You should take care of your grandpa these few days. Don't let him be angry. As for the rest, we can't help Chi-Chi." I know, Mom. Chi-Chi has really planted a super bomb in the Shen family. But you don't object to it, don't you? Shen Lin did not hear that Huang Yu was blaming Mu Chi-Chi from her tone. Why should I object to it? Shen Ruai is delusional. But Chi-Chi and Sheng Xiao are in love with each other. How can it be the same? Moreover, although they are not the same generation, they are not related by blood. Other than your grandpa, who else in the family would really care about the generation? Most importantly, I understand Chi-Chi. When she was at her wit's end, it was Sheng Xiao who held her back. I'm not surprised that she likes Sheng Xiao because of this relationship. Otherwise, why would she tattoo his name on her ear? Shen Lin nodded. When it came to love, wasn't it all about being willing to do anything? He treated Yu Jing like that in the past. Now, wasn't Mu Chi-Chi the same as him? Soon, Mu Chi-Chi found out from Sheng Xiao that Grandpa Shen had exposed their relationship. So she was restless. She called Huang Yu immediately. Your grandpa locked himself in the study for the whole day. He did not eat or drink. It seems that he is really angry. No one in the Shen family dares to persuade him. You know your grandpa's temper. Xiaoqi, this matter has really blown your grandpa's mind. He loves you so much and trusts you. He must be very sad now. But, second aunt doesn't think that you did anything wrong. Who can say who is right or wrong in this kind of thing? Thank you, second aunt. I'll come and see grandpa later, said Mu Chi-Chi to Huang Yu. Okay, but you must be prepared. Grandpa might not let you go so easily. He might even force you to make a decision. I know. The matter had been exposed. What good would it do to say more? She was not afraid. She was just worried about Grandpa's health. That was all. So, during the lunch break, Mu Chi-Chi went to the hospital to visit Shen Jianchuan. When Shen Jianchuan saw her, he could guess what happened. Did Grandpa find out? Mu Chi-Chi nodded. Yes. Chapter 240. How could she not care? If it's the Mu family, I really don't care. But I care about you and Grandpa. Mu Chi-Chi held Shen Jianchuan's hand and said, But Dad, I can't lose Xiao Xiao no matter what. He is my life. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes turned red when she said that. Maybe you think that I'm exaggerating. I'm just an 18-year-old kid. She said that because she's young and naive. However, I know better than any of you what kind of place he holds in my heart. Even if I'm struck by lightning in the future, I will accept it. Dad will always be on your side. Xiaoqi, be brave. Shen Jianchuan held Mu Chi-Chi's hand. It was the only thing he could do for Mu Chi-Chi. That was to cheer for her. When Mu Chi-Chi left, he asked the nurse who was standing beside him, Can I leave the hospital? How can you leave the hospital? What if it's just for a while? The nurse thought for a while and said, I'll think of a way for you. Because he knew Grandpa Shen's temper very well. Mu Chi-Chi would definitely be wronged. So it was time for him to perform as a father. Mu Chi-Chi did not tell Sheng Xiao that she was going to the Shen family. But according to Sheng Xiao's understanding of her, she drove straight to the Shen family after she left Huang Yao. At that moment, Mu Qiqi was kneeling outside Grandpa Shen's study. Huang Yu and the others stood aside helplessly. After a while, Grandpa Shen finally opened the door. He looked at Mu Qiqi coldly and said, "Follow me." They arrived at the ancestral hall of the Shen family one after another. Mu Qiqi only knew that there was an ancestral hall in the Shen family. "Tell me in front of all the ancestors. Did you and Sheng Xiao lie to me from the beginning?" "Grandpa, apart from my relationship with Xiao Xiao, we didn't lie to you about anything." Grandpa Shen took out the wooden stick that he used to hit Shen Ruai the other day. He pointed it at Mu Qiqi. "Do you know how proud I am to see you? I love you so much. I want to give you the whole Shen family. But what about you? Not only did you live with a man at the age of 18, he's also a member of the Sheng family. He's your uncle. How am I supposed to accept this girl? Since you've come back today, and you're here in front of all the ancestors, tell me, do you want Sheng Xiao or me, your grandfather? I really can't live with Sheng Xiao awkwardly anymore. I've let the Sheng family down. So give me an answer. Give me a choice. Do you want Sheng Xiao or grandfather? Tell me. If you choose grandpa, then cut off all ties with Sheng Xiao. From now on, we will never mention this matter again. I will pretend that nothing happened. But if you choose Sheng Xiao, then the Shen family will pretend that you never appeared. I will pretend that I don't have a granddaughter like you." Mu Qiqi looked at Grandpa Shen with a firm and unquestionable gaze. "I choose Sheng Xiao." Hearing this, Grandpa Sheng was shocked and hit her with a stick. "You don't even think about it? Do you really want to marry into the Sheng family that much?" Mu Qiqi was secretly hurt, but she did not change her answer. "I choose Sheng Xiao. Grandpa, I can do anything for you, except leaving Sheng Xiao. If you still care about your granddaughter's life, don't force me to choose. Because Sheng Xiao is my life. You don't know how much a desperate girl loves and appreciates that person when she's saved. He saved my life. He gave me my life. Everything I have, including the fact that I can kneel here now, is because I have Sheng Xiao. He's very important to me. He's more important than myself." Grandpa Shen hit Mu Qiqi again when he heard this. He was anxious. "You're so stubborn. Grandpa, this is it. I'll follow Sheng Xiao for the rest of my life. Whether you agree or not, this is my answer. My saliva can drown you. I'm not afraid of anything." Mu Qiqi replied with tears in her eyes. "If that's the case, you must be like Shen Ruai. Get out of the Shen family. The further the better. I'll pretend that I don't have you as my granddaughter. Even if you're attacked by the Sheng family in the future, I won't acknowledge you as my granddaughter." After Mu Qiqi heard this, she kowtowed to Grandpa Shen 3 times. "Grandpa, please take care of yourself." Grandpa Shen did not expect that Mu Qiqi would make such a decision without any hesitation. He felt sad and angry at the same time. Mu Qiqi was already a part of the Shen family. How could he get rid of her? If this matter were to spread, and the Sheng family came looking for Mu Qiqi, would he be able to deny it? How could he say that Mu Qiqi was not a member of the Shen family? Who would believe that? But it was worse than death for him to accept it. "My Qiqi." Mu Qiqi's steps were firm. She had to do it without any hesitation. She must give Grandpa Shen the most accurate answer about Sheng Xiao. She would not compromise at all. She could do anything for Grandpa Shen. But she would not give in to Sheng Xiao. "Qiqi." Huang Yu quickly helped her when she saw her. "Are you all right?" "Grandpa, please take care of me." Mu Qiqi said to Huang Yu. "Just take it that I'm not filial." After that, Mu Qiqi was about to walk out of the Shen family. But Grandpa Shen shouted at her from behind. "Come back, you wicked girl. I'll give you time to break up with Sheng Xiao slowly. I won't force you." "Grandpa, you're forcing me." Mu Qiqi turned around and said to Grandpa Shen, "Because I won't break up with him. I've already given in. What else do you want me to do?" Obviously, Grandpa Shen did not want to lose his granddaughter. But he could not accept the fact that his nephew had become his grandson-in-law. At the same time, Sheng Zhao's car had entered the Shen family's courtyard. He saw Mu Qiqi and the others at the entrance of the living room. He went straight to them. His face darkened when he saw Mu Qiqi holding her shoulder. "Did you get beaten?" Muchichi shook her head. Sheng Xiao hugged Muchichi. Then, he looked up at Grandpa Shen and said, Uncle Shen, I've been raising her since she was 17 to 19. I have custody of her too. I want her to be my wife. None of you can stop me. Xiao Xiao. Lawless. Grandpa Sheng snorted coldly at Sheng Xiao after hearing that. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.